Chiefs football. Welcome to 96.5 The Fan. Which means this is the only place to listen to the play-by-play on game day. It's the only place to hear Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes on Monday. It's the only place to hear the voice of Chiefs Kingdom, Mitch Holtis. It's the only sports place for you. Your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFMZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
You ready? You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Red Kingdom. Yeah. Red Kingdom. Welcome to the Red.
All right, welcome into a Victory Monday. You never get tired of saying that. Victory Monday.
And we're the only ones that can continue to say it now in the NFL, too. Nobody else is undefeated.
No one's been able to say Victory Monday for 6 consecutive weeks.
That's right.
We haven't even done that because there was a bye week.
Yeah, so,
Fact check.
6 of the 7 weeks of the
That's right.
NFL season, we're undefeated and we're ready to go. And
They even won on their bye week. It's impressive.
my goodness.
Dallas lost on theirs.
Yep, they
somebody
did.
did something wrong in
the
Dallas.
Jets lost twice on their bye week.
That man got his ass kicked.
I tell you what, Devontae Adams made that thing better just like we said it would, right? Go out and get that star wide receiver, 2 and 5. The Jets got to get to week 10 just to get back to 500 now.
Aaron Rodgers is feeling that one today.
I mean, who's the worst quarterback in New York right now, Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, come on.
I mean, it is. It's Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knows it.
One guy got benched, the other guy didn't.
Wow. Well, the other guy probably getting close to getting benched or maybe benching himself and realizing that Father Time is probably done caught up with Aaron Rodgers.
I would bet you $100,000 that I don't have that Aaron Rodgers never gets benched this season.
No, probably not. No. Aaron Rodgers is too narcissistic to realize that it's time to maybe move on, and the NFL is maybe past that guy by. He has not looked good at all this season.
Bob Fescoe, Dusty Like back morning with you on Fescoe and Dusty on a Monday. Again, Victory Monday. Chiefs beat the 49ers 28-18.
Big win yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
I had somebody
season
tell me-
high in points.
Yeah, right. Great day for Hy-Vee. Go spend $28,
Yeah.
get 28 cents on your fuel savers
And
today.
no Harrison Butker.
No,
Wasn't that
Harrison
interesting?
Butker. Yeah.
I want to bring that up real quick because that's the first thing I noticed yesterday. I looked at, obviously I'll go down, look at the stat sheets, and I was like, oh, Butker had 2 extra points, and that's it.
That's it yesterday.
And a lot of people are like, this could be a Butker game. This could be one of those games where, whatever. We always try to do it. Later on, we'll do our script. But I thought that was interesting, that this was one of those games where it's like you didn't need your special weapon, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. And I'm good with that. I don't need to see the kicker out there trying to win
That's
games,
fine.
right?
Yeah.
Score touchdowns. And they did. They scored 4 of them yesterday, right?
Right. But what I think yesterday said to us, I'm sorry, I don't speak for you two. What yesterday said to me was the definition of impressive. Like yesterday was a very impressive win, and this team continues to be impressive. And I know that a lot of you are in your car maybe thinking to yourself, like, what did you see that was impressive? Every player knows their role. Like whether it's Noah Gray, which for the love of God, did the Chiefs just draft like exceptionally good-looking tight ends?
No, great. Yeah, right.
We go from
pretty good.
We go from Tony Gonzalez, Travis Kelce, and now Noah Gray
Don't
with
forget
piercing
about
blue eyes.
Tony Moiaki. Yeah,
straight tens, baby. You know what I mean? How you doing?
Yeah.
Anyways, but no, I every player seems to know their role. I thought McCole Hardman for what he had to do yesterday was fantastic.
He was great yesterday.
The punt return. God, it's nice to see somebody able. Like I don't sweat him catching the ball on punts. Remember how we did the Sky Moore thing?
Yeah, right.
Jeez, we did it again with
We
Sky
did it
Moore.
again with Sky Moore.
We tried.
I mean, I was
It
talking
wasn't
to
the greatest throw, But for the love of God, man.
I was talking to somebody over the weekend. They're like, at one time in practice this weekend, like Sky Moore and Justin Watson as your number 2 and number 1 wide receivers in the ball game, right? In practice,
they
like
had
oh my
Kareem in the
God,
slot.
right? Yeah, like you had Watson and Sky Moore as your number 1 and number 2 wide receivers this week at some point.
Yeah,
and they still figured out a way to cobble it together. I mean, I think that's why it's impressive.
And that's
right?
impressive. You look at, and then the Chiefs are just smarter than you. And I think that to me is where like the impressive trigger happens because, in one game early, they lose Rashee Rice, which we're not, strangers to the game. That takes Andy Reid's entire script and he has to throw it away and has to like improvise, which is tough for any coach. They still win.
They probably have a sheet that has every player and what you're going to do if he's injured and taken out of the game. Like, that's how prepared I envision this organization being. Not to take anything away from that, because that's, again, a reason why they beat everybody's ass, right? They're more prepared in everything than anybody could ever be. So Rashee Rice goes in. All right, where's that play that says the Rashee Rice goes out, plays that we can run and who we can do, and we just kind of insert that in and we're ready to go,
And I think when you look at how much smarter they are, they like every point of the game, it seems, and that wasn't a fun game to watch yesterday.
No, I got a lot of texts from friends going, this is boring, this is sad, I'm tired of watching this.
Bad football.
This is not good.
And
6-0, baby.
Right. And you continue with the impressiveness of this team, and Mahomes throws 2 picks. We'll talk about it later. In my opinion, not totally his fault. There's a tip pass by a lineman who picks off his own tipped pass.
That was a crazy
How
one,
many times do you see that? And people are like, oh, you see it more often than you think. No, you see the highlight of it, but that to me has a 30% success rate, and maybe that's way too high.
Oh, I think that's way too for a guy to tip his own pass and catch it. No,
in the trenches. Okay, maybe less than that.
Oh God,
I
yes,
just said to myself,
single digits. I would imagine.
I said to myself, 3 out of 10 times the guy catches that, so that's I think 30%. Maybe it's twice.
I think it's. I mean, that's a hell of a play by that lineman, man.
And then did he throw it low? Was he maybe telegraphic with his eyes? Possibly. And then Worthy fell down.
Right.
Like that's the other one.
Right.
Yet they still win.
They still find ways to win, yeah.
They turned Brock Purdy into what everybody wants or believes Brock Purdy truly is. He threw 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
He had like -1 fantasy point all the way into the third quarter for us nerds. And they win. And where I want to give Jay Binkley credit is he says this line a lot. The Chiefs are playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
It's true.
And what I mean by that is you think about the game of chess and you think about when you watch the Chiefs. Have the Chiefs lost a few pawns and some pieces that can only do certain things, that go only certain ways because of who they are? Absolutely. But what's the most important part about chess? The 2 pieces that matter the most, the king and the queen, right? What are the 2 most important parts about the Kansas City Chiefs? The head
Mahomes
coach
and Reid.
and the quarterback.
Yep.
They might have lost their rooker. They might have lost a couple of pawns. They might have lost a horseman, but they still have their king and they still have their whatever. I know it's not a king, queen, but they still have their 2 most important pieces, and those guys just win. So, like, you might knock a bunch of pieces off the board for the Chiefs in the game of chess, but there's so many steps ahead of you, and they know where they need to be during the game at a very important part of the game. And at the end of the day, we will look at the whiteboard and it's win, 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 win. That's 6.
Yeah.
And then we don't even have the conversation yet about the defense.
Well, and they do it in different ways every single time. You had 7 different people carrying the football yesterday for you, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different individuals with a target yesterday, and 7 individuals making a catch yesterday for the Chiefs. So they're involving everybody right now in the offense. And when you have Patrick Mahomes at the top of your lineage, if you will, it makes everything else that much easier. Like look at the Chicago Bears back in the day. They had some pretty good wide receivers, but they had Mitchell Trubisky as their quarterback, right? Would you rather go into a game with really good wide receivers and Mitchell Trubisky as your quarterback, or would you rather go into a game with Patrick Mahomes and then maybe, Sky Moore and Noah Gray and Worthy and guys like that as your wide receivers? And the answer is clear. It's Patrick Mahomes. And, we continue to go back to he's the cheat code and all of this, but I really think yesterday, and we'll get into this more as the morning rolls along, I really think yesterday, to me, the biggest difference was it was a masterclass by Andy Reid yet again at coaching this football team. And I am going to make it a mission of mine for the rest of the year to get Andy Reid this Coach of the Year honor that he so rightfully deserves, because while other teams are losing players and losing games, Andy Reid is losing players and winning games and finding ways to overcome some of the most, catastrophic injuries that you could face on your football team, losing your top 2 wide receivers, your number 1 running back, and now your second best cornerback on the team, right? So you've had all of these injuries crop up this year, and you're the only unbeaten team in the NFL. That's a masterclass on what Andy Reid truly is as a head coach in this league. And I'm going to go down with the ship, I think, this year, singing the praises of Andy Reid. Not just how great he is this year, and he should be Coach of the Year this year, but historically, he's the greatest coach the NFL has ever seen. Nobody has done more with different organizations, different quarterbacks, different pieces of the puzzle than what Andy Reid is doing. You continue to take things away from Andy Reid, and Andy Reid continues to find a way to win football games and to put his team in position to win these games. And they did it again yesterday. You didn't know what to expect yesterday. Patrick Mahomes wasn't all that good, so you laid on Kareem Hunt a little bit and let him run the football and run the football and run the football. Noah Gray got involved, your backup tight end yesterday, right? Like, you had guys stepping up. I don't know, it was 2018 all over again. McCole Hardman playing big yesterday. Andy Reid is just putting on a masterclass this season at coaching football. It's been remarkable. Like, the most exciting and impressive thing this year for me hasn't been anything that players have done. It's this masterclass that Andy Reid is putting on as the head coach of the Chiefs. Hats off to this guy, man. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll get into his discussion for Coach of the Year and why it matters more than ever to have that argument today. Text line chimes in, 620, calm down a little. A win is a win, but the Niners were missing half their starters, including their 3 best on offense.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The Chiefs were
missing the 3 best on their offense, too.
The Chiefs without Rasheed Rice, Kareem Hunt,
Hollywood Brown.
Jalen Watson got hurt.
Yeah.
He's down.
Done for the year.
Yes!
So
it's hard to win a game in the NFL. There's no reason to, quote-unquote, calm down when we're talking about a win like we saw yesterday.
And
because
it was on the road to an NFC favorite.
Yeah, to a team that everybody thought was probably going to rematch you for the Super Bowl, and you went out there and you legitimately motorboated them yesterday. Yeah, they've had injuries, but so did we. And I think you saw yesterday the importance of paying the right guy at your quarterback position in Patrick Mahomes. And I think yesterday was a good experience for San Francisco to realize, don't pay Brock Purdy. He's good because he has Ayuk, because he has Deebo Samuel, because he has Christian McCaffrey. Yesterday, you took all those pieces away, and Brock Purdy is exactly what he is, Mr. Irrelevant. You take all these pieces away from Patrick Mahomes, and what is Patrick Mahomes? 6-0.
Somebody also chimes in, says Patrick Mahomes, where do we go here? Says Patrick Mahomes has 8 picks through 6 games.
Okay. They have 6 wins through 6 games.
And yesterday had a 44.4 passer rating.
Stats are for losers.
They won, and that's all that matters. But stop making excuses that it's not his fault.
Nobody said anything about excuse. They won the football game.
And I think the excuse I had was that the 2 picks yesterday were not technically 100% his fault.
Well, one was tipped at the line, and the other one was a hell of a play where the wide receiver falls down.
He fell down.
Yeah.
But has he been great?
No.
But what were the 2 biggest plays yesterday?
Patrick Mahomes runs.
Thank you.
Destroying.
He had a run.
What was the guy's name in the end zone? I'm going to say it wrong. Mustafa.
Yeah, Mustafa.
Right?
With a P.
Mustafa destroying his ass in the end zone, and that 33-yard career long, which was an unbelievable run. You find me a better quarterback run. I've said for years, Patrick Mahomes is the best running quarterback in the NFL. We saw it again yesterday. He may not be the flashiest or the fastest. Nobody runs better than Patrick Mahomes in the NFL.
The 2 biggest plays yesterday were the 2 Mahomes runs. I don't know if that's – I mean, I know there were interceptions, but I'm saying on the offensive side of the football, the 2 biggest plays were the Patrick Mahomes runs.
No
the
doubt.
ones that he took for the longest run in his career, and then when he absolutely truck stick that Mustafa guy.
Right, yeah. He needed to make plays, and Patrick Mahomes made plays. That's why Patrick Mahomes is an MVP, and Brock Purdy, again, is Mr. Irrelevant. I guess I don't understand the text line coming to bat today with a 6-0 team complaining about things. It just doesn't make sense to me. Today's a day of celebration. Today's a day of going, we're 6-0. Nobody else in the NFL is undefeated right now.
And it's impressive.
And it's damn impressive in this league right now to sit here at 6-0. And if you don't think it's impressive, then you're taking what we're going through for granted right now, and you need to check yourself.
If you listen to Bob Fescoe on Friday on Instagram, you'd be a rich man. Bob Fescoe is right. We explain on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, you're waking up this morning and you're thinking to yourself, I got to do something about this ED, right? There's something I got to do. I got to get this fixed. It's ruining my life. It's ruining my love life. It's taking an emotional toll on my relationship. And ED, as you know, is simply a medical condition like any other. For most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. Get back the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. Heartland Men's Health treatments work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or even more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City, and they're ready for you. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and their new office in North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We've just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. This year, I get to host, and Hy-Vee's going to make it convenient for me. They have made fresh, ready to heat and serve favorites like succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham, prime rib, savory side dishes, and dessert. Hy-Vee's Taste of the Holidays event is coming up Saturday, November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can sample all of the amazing ready-to-serve meal pack options or just get a little holiday inspiration. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit. Only at Hy-Vee.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips, now with 3 times greater scent control, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing, which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs.
Picking up! Oscar! What's better than 1 win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get 1 line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Online at GannAsphalt.com. I-70 westbound past 470. Just a brief tap of the brakes as you make your way past that with a problem on the shoulder. Looking to transform your business's property. Noticing crumbling curbs, uneven sidewalks, parking lot potholes, or faded striping. Gann Asphalt and Concrete makes your project a streamlined process with one contractor. All things parking lot. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Online at GannAsphalt.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
14-17 to go in the game. Kansas City 14. San Francisco 12. Fourth down. Less than a yard for a touchdown. Mahomes takes the snap and wants to throw it. He'll step up into the pocket. Flag on the play. Mahomes is into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City!
Holding, number 27 defense. The penalty is declined.
Patrick Mahomes, get this one, his first rushing touchdown since Christmas Eve of 2022 when Caitlin Clark was in the stadium. It's been that long for Mahomes to run it in for the sweet nectar of the end zone.
What a random stat.
That was as random as it gets. That was my kid's first Chiefs game. How come he didn't say that? Christmas Eve of 2022. Come on, Mitch.
Come on now.
Back in the day when Caitlin Clark was the biggest celebrity going to Chiefs games, right? Like it's 2022. Taylor wasn't part of the conversation yet.
Not yet. Yeah, interesting. That was the first. Okay, so over 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost 3 years.
An entire football season since Patrick Mahomes has scored a touchdown. Almost 2 entire seasons.
What's more impressive, that that's the first time he's ran a touchdown, or the fact that Chiefs haven't allowed 30 or more points in the Super Bowl against the Eagles?
Yeah, I think the fact that they haven't allowed 30 or more points since that Super Bowl against the Eagles is probably the most impressive stat, especially now, in the NFL where, they've made it a case to try to increase scoring in this league. I do think scoring, at least in my opinion anyway, feels like it's down through the first 7 weeks of the season. Scoring isn't that up there, but that doesn't take anything away from, what this defense has been able to do and accomplish, and, shutting down San Francisco again yesterday and not allowing 20 points in an NFL game is something to be impressive regardless of who their quarterback is.
What was impressive was you, sir.
Why?
Kareem Hunt stays in at running back. Ball on the short side, right side of the field. Humphrey gives it off. Counter play. Inside. Kareem Hunt dancing and diving. And Kareem Hunt, touchdown, Kansas City. Kareem Hunt with that body of a heavyweight and the feet of a featherweight, able to dance back and forth and get the touchdown from 6 yards out. And Hunt has his second rushing touchdown of this game. The Chiefs lead 13-3.
That's when you said a certain line that always comes on Sunday from you.
Game over, baby. Game over.
I think what's also impressive is that, I don't know if it's my degenerateness or my likeliness, this mustache maybe, but I feel like you're getting more juice when it comes to gambling.
Here's my best bet of the weekend. Take Kareem Hunt on over the rushing yards and to score more than one touchdown. I think he's going to be big in the red zone this weekend. I think they're going to utilize Kareem Hunt a lot, so bet all the overs with Kareem Hunt.
People may hate it, but the floor is yours.
22 carries, 78 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Nailed it.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right?
Nailed it. Yeah. Tailbot Fescoe this week against the Vegas Raiders. I mean, you couldn't have gotten it more dead on with Kareem Hunt this week. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's not that hard, I guess.
I guess I could have cut. That's what she said.
Yeah.
I guess I could have cut this the part where I was like, take the under and the Chiefs money line.
Yeah.
Plus 282 on Friday morning.
Right.
46. The under was 47.
47. Look at that. Just by the skin of your teeth.
There were some sweaty boys out there on Sunday.
Baby.
That's
yeah,
right. So
there were. Yeah.
if you want to make money, listen to Fescoe and Dusty.
That's exactly right. We'll get you cashing in on this kind of
Yeah.
thing. So, but Kareem Hunt to me,
Yeah.
it's funny in how sports works, right? There's about I would say probably 1 or 2 times each year where a sports fan of a particular sport gets all lathered up and excited. It's the opening of the league year, which for the NFL is in March. For Major League Baseball is the week after the World Series ends. And then there is the trade deadline in baseball and the trade deadline in the NFL. And we get all lubed up, right? Excited. Trades, free agency, big names coming to our teams. And yet the biggest addition that the Chiefs made since the start of the league year in March has been Kareem Hunt. That has been the biggest and most important move that this organization has made, and he's been nothing short of fantastic. And you wondered how he was going to fit in. Oh, he didn't training camp, blah, 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 all that nonsense. His legs were clearly rested, and I don't know where this team would be right now without Kareem Hunt on the roster. He's been a brilliant addition, but he wasn't added in that first week when the league year started in March. He wasn't added kind of before training camp. The trade deadline's coming up. Kind of flies under the radar, but those are usually the moves that galvanize teams and bring teams together. It's not Devontae Adams. It's not Amari Cooper. It's not the big names that get signed in the offseason. It's about those little moves that you weren't expecting anything out of that bring this whole thing together. Mike Pinnell's been that guy for years. Sammy Watkins was that guy, in my opinion. And I'm a Sammy truther, so I'll go down with the ship on Sammy Watkins on that
Alien
one.
Lord.
But I mean, you're looking around right now like, Kareem Hunt, man, like where would this team be right now from an offensive standpoint without Kareem Hunt? And so he looks like a great find for this organization, and he's running like he's young and fresh, and I love it, man. It's been the perfect addition for this organization, and I think you continue to ride Kareem Hunt as long as you're kind of riding out these injuries to your wide receiver core. You got to continue to go back to, I guess, what a lot of fans are calling Marty Ball. My friend Lash texted me yesterday, got another text from a friend of mine yesterday, Marty Ball 2.0, only this time it's better, right?
Time out. Your friend's name is Lash?
Yeah, Ryan Lash. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like,
No.
I thought it was like Lash Gordon.
I wish it would. We can call him Lash Gordon. The hell if I care. He'll be more than happy with it, right? One time in college, he took out a switchblade. We do call him Whip. Yeah. Hey, Ryan, next kid that you have,
Great
name
movie.
Whip. Yeah, that's a great movie. But in college, he actually had a switchblade and beat up a bear with it. That is a God's honest truth. Fought the bear in Lawrence with a switchblade. No questions asked.
I'm not messing with this guy.
No, you don't want to
Seriously.
mess with Lash at all. So he texts me, he goes, I think we got Marty Ball 2.0 coming back. He goes, this Marty Ball is back, but only better. And I'm like, you're right. It kind of is because we got multiple running backs now that we can feature, right? P. Ryan was decent enough yesterday.
Had a
making
big play when it mattered.
Big play when it mattered, right?
Stayed in bounds. I was like, as soon as he caught him, like, stay in bounds.
Stay in bounds, right? Were you like telling Hardman not to score because I wasn't
No.
at that point in
I was
time?
like,
Now
go get
get your points, right?
Do what you do against San Fran.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock him out.
Knock him out. Take care of business.
Yeah.
So you got P. Ryan, you got Steele, you got Kareem. It is Marty Ball with 3 running backs out there, right? But the difference between this version of Marty Ball and Marty's version of Marty Ball, this offense still has that ability to beat you over the top, right? I'm not sure Marty had anybody that could beat you over the top like we do with Xavier Worthy right now.
No, I mean, he had our guy Danon Hughes at one point, I know, but not over the top type of guy,
No,
right? It was
nothing
just
like that,
over
yeah.
the middle. And I think the thing about Kareem Hunt that's great, and maybe I'm selfish in this, and I know Max and Nerd in this is as well, and you talk about fantasy owners, that backfield is going to be dangerous at the right part
the
of the
right
year
time, yeah.
when Pacheco comes back.
That's exactly right.
Like, that's
Yep.
where my head went yesterday is I'm like, Kareem Hunt's awesome right now. He's been
See, now
fantastic.
you're thinking like me.
And
you criticized me for that on Friday.
And I admit when I'm wrong. And I think to myself, like, the similarities I like to have with the 15 and 14 bullpen with what this team can be, right? Like, Mahomes, Pacheco, and Kareem Hunt come cold weather football. It's going to be one of those things that is like giving this defense an extra shot in the arm because the way this team is winning the games that they're winning is their defense is outstanding and they're winning the time of possession. And when you do that, you're making that team try harder than they already are, think smarter than they try to think, and they make mistakes. And yesterday, Brock Purdy met this defensive line, and the result was 3 interceptions.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly
That's a
what it
fact.
was yesterday. Yeah, and that's the other thing about this defense and the Marty Ball version of this defense. There's legit stars at everevery level of this defense.
Correct.
Right? I don't know why I'm getting so choked up today. God.
Is it the mustache?
Maybe. Yeah.
It's for a costume.
Still has it the next weekend.
Yeah. I got
The costume was
money
over
off this
the
mustache.
weekend.
It's simply too good.
The costume already took place, and you still have the mustache.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
which is fine. I mean,
Hey.
if you want to look like Austin Wells,
Hey, man, that guy's a World Series baseball player.
it's Austin Wells right here. Go to our live stream right now. What is it? Twitch and Twitter and YouTube
Yep,
and all
that's
that
it.
kind of stuff. And look at Dusty's mustache. Dude, just look at the camera. You look like Austin Wells, man. I thought that the other day when we were at the game and it was on the scoreboard. I'm like, they got Dusty's picture
Dusty.
up there. What the hell's Dusty doing up there? That's Austin Wells.
Playing for the damn Yankees,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. You could walk around New York right now, tell people you're Austin Wells. Most will say who, and then the people that do know you'd be like, ooh, hello, here's my room key, right? So you got the opportunity to be a World Series champion right now. You throw on a Yankee hat, like one of those like fleece, Yankee pullovers, you could be Austin Wells. I'm not kidding.
Well, I'm not normally a dream ruiner, but over my dead body will I wear anything New York Yankees. That's
What
a
if you get
fact.
Austin Wells' money?
Well,
Yeah,
money talks.
It does. Yes, yeah.
But no, I thought that when I'm watching Kareem Hunt play the way he's played since he's been a member of this team, it's like you said, there's a lot of things that he's done that maybe you don't think about until after the fact. Like,
Yeah.
the first thing a lot of people jump to is like, Mahomes wasn't great again, but they still won. Boy, this defense is great. But it's like the biggest question mark that this team has had all year is red zone scoring. And yesterday they said enough, which, again, I still get frustrated. It's fine. Like the fake punt, I didn't understand. If you're
Right.
trying to get 1 yard, why are like it's not like they had Ariza throw it.
Right.
They ran it with a sneak play. Whatever. You want to see creativity, but I didn't understand that. And then on the goal line, I'm like,
The only problem with that fake punt
just keep
for
giving
me,
it to just keep giving it to Kareem Hunt. Just give it to Kareem Hunt.
they telegraphed it. Like 3rd and 1 and they're throwing, and even Tom Brady goes, you kind of figured it was coming after that 3rd and 1 play.
It was interesting. And but yeah, like the way they're playing is like since they're winning Super Bowls, like I'm okay if like you want to coin it as Marty Ball, because we talked about that last week. Somebody came up to me like, man, I never thought I'd be happy. My barber, he goes, I never thought I'd be happy to see Marty Ball. I was like, well, with this team it works because they actually have the quarterback that can do it. Now Montana was at the end of his career and had a bunch of great moments with the Chiefs.
Right.
But in the playoffs, when he got hurt against Buffalo, it didn't work. Mahomes obviously has been a playoff contender his whole life. Obviously, we had the Henny series a couple years ago. But the thing about this is that the defense is so good, and Kareem Hunt has been so good,
right?
That it's like, yeah, they definitely need to go find a receiver. And I know I got some backlash on Twitter this weekend of like, there's no way they can bring in that's going to really make a difference. There is.
Oh, I'll tell you some conversations I had over the weekend. It's hot and heavy for a receiver. Okay, they know they need a receiver.
I like
they
hot
know
and
they
heavy.
they know they need a receiver.
But it's fine. I mean, like the way that Hunt has been, he's been your Lucas Irsay. He's been your closer.
Yeah, he's been great.
You can trust him. He holds onto the football. He gets into the end zone. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Could have had 3.
Yeah.
And he's a safety valve.
Yep.
Like 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, hell, 4th and 1. Give him the ball. I think in 3 attempts he'd be able to get a yard.
And he runs so hard inside that red zone too. That's why I said what I said on Instagram, because I figured, you're down with your receivers right now. Kareem Hunt has been really good. You've got to find a way to get things going inside that red zone, because how many years have we been watching 1 yard become so painful for this team, right? I mean, it's really, really painful to watch this team have to go for 1 yard. And now you have Kareem Hunt in the fold, and he kind of changes everything. Just the style that he runs. He never gives up. He never quits. He continues to go. And you're right, Dusty, when they get Isaiah Pacheco back, and now you've got this two-headed monster out here, this is Marty Ball on steroids, right? This is Marty Ball, but better. And I don't want to call it Andy Ball or anything like that, but this is, again, another reason why Andy Reid is the greatest football coach this league has ever seen. Here we are talking about Andy Reid coaching like Marty Schottenheimer, right? Coaching Marty Ball, because this team has changed so much since they started training camp, from losing Hollywood Brown to losing Rashee Rice to losing Isaiah Pacheco. And Andy Reid just keeps changing and evolving and moving forward and changing with the offense, and not being one of these stubborn coaches who goes, well, this is my game plan, this is what we're going to do. That's not how you win games in the NFL. You win games in the NFL by coaching to your talent and putting your talent in the best position to be successful. And I thought Andy Reid did that again yesterday. They utilized the running game, because that was, I mean, when Patrick Mahomes has a quarterback rating in the 40s and Brock Purdy has one in the 30s, I mean, you tell me neither quarterback's playing well. You got to go back to that run game, and you got to figure it out. And the Chiefs have the luxury and the ability to do that, because our guy Brett Veach went out and made the best offseason addition for this organization 3 weeks ago, when he went out and signed Kareem Hunt. And those are the moves that I like. That's why I'm so, I don't want to say anti-free agency, but you never get great production when you go out and you break the bank in free agency. You sign Kareem Hunt for the league minimum off the scrap heap, and he's come in and he's been your best offensive weapon the last couple of weeks.
It is a Monday, so we can kind of overreact here. I think there's a reason that we get to do these, because there are always reasons to have an overreaction.
Sure.
My overreaction that I saw from this week is we take a little bit of a backseat from the Chiefs. Some people might have overreaction to the Chiefs. We can get into MVP conversations as well. That might piss a few people off, but that's fine. I think Mahomes is still your MVP frontrunner because of what he's doing when he needs to do it. But a big overreaction I had over the weekend is the Commanders' season's over if, in fact, Jalen Daniels is hurt.
I don't disagree with that.
In a severe way. Like they said, it's a rib injury. It breaks my heart, because this week is supposed to be the Caleb Williams,
it's supposed to be
Daniels.
they flex the game and everything.
Yeah, and now we're going to be Marcus Mariota and Caleb Williams. And now Caleb Williams, if he wants to, has the opportunity to take the front seat for the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Here we are, week 7, week 8. Talking about it when maybe week 1 and 2 are like, maybe we missed the boat on Caleb Williams. Maybe not. And unfortunately, it's an injury that's going to happen that's going to cause that, because it's a rib injury. Those always scare me with quarterbacks.
They never heal, right? Like, those are ones you just have to wait out. My wife fell off a stool one time trying to fix the blinds, broke her rib, and it was like 6 weeks I had to hear about the rib, right? And so I can't imagine an NFL player trying to, painful rib injury, right? And she wasn't getting hit on the side every game and whatnot. They're probably going to put some flak jacket on there and get him ready to play and all that kind of stuff. Motion and then get hit. And, the rib injuries suck.
And he's your future, and Washington has ruined quarterbacks before, rushing them back from injury. RG3, obviously. A couple other overreactions.
Who's your favorite in the East then if Jalen Daniels isn't playing?
Yes, I don't know.
I mean, it's not it's not Washington, obviously.
No.
Philadelphia, they trucked the Giants.
It might be Washington. Marcus Mariota played really well yesterday.
One game.
He played against the Carolina Panthers yesterday.
Cool, man. He threw 3 touchdowns and 0 picks and ran really well. He looked athletic.
Yeah,
is he better than Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts right now? Maybe, man. Maybe. It's pretty close.
Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts.
Hurts can't throw a 15-yard pass.
Maybe.
Overreaction.
Yeah, you want to talk about an overreaction. My friend Evan texted me yesterday about for whatever reason, about the Carolina Panthers, and he was talking about let me see if I can find it, pull it up exactly what he said. Basically, it's the worst franchise he's ever seen in NFL history, right? Like that's your overreaction. The Panthers are the Panthers are effing horrendous. Franchise in disarray, right? And that's where they are. I'm not judging anything Marcus Mariota did against the Carolina Panthers.
So the other one, I don't think Houston's as good as we thought they were. That might be an overreaction, but I mean,
Or is Green Bay just better? I love those uniforms yesterday, by the way. What did you guys feel? Did you like them?
Loved it.
Why can't the Chiefs do that? Why can't we go with a white helmet and white uniforms all the way, right?
It's a tough game. It was in Lambeau. The Chiefs lost there last year. Obviously, a big no call at the end of the game, but the refs are always giving the Chiefs the calls.
Right. They missed the throat punch on Mahomes yesterday, too. How did we not get that call?
Because he flopped, apparently.
Wow.
But no, I think Houston's not as good as maybe we thought. Sophomore year, we'll see what they can continue to do. I know they're still 5-2, but it's overreaction Monday. Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah.
Numbers would indicate that. Most receiving yards, most touchdowns as a wide receiver. I think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in football. And 2 Monday night football games sucks hard.
Yeah, it really does. I'm with you on that.
Too much.
Too much. No,
Starting at 6 o'clock and let us get an early start to football.
Right, but it's not starting at 6 o'clock. It's starting at normal time.
And then the other one's at 8.
Yeah, that's too much for me tonight.
Yeah, but that's my overreaction.
I'm with you on that's not an overreaction. Overreaction is the World Series doesn't start till Friday. What the hell? And then our friend Ben Maller just texted me. He goes, yeah, because Tuesday and Wednesday the NBA starts.
Can't wait, dude.
Overreactions. Detroit, for me, by far the best team in the NFC. What they did yesterday to Minnesota, come back, win that game. Everybody's on the Goff train, okay? This weekend, all the Goff truthers came out. Everybody's riding the Goff train right now. Cleveland, worst team in football. No question in my mind. They are the worst team right now in football. Josh Allen, probably the most overrated player in the NFL. You got to go out and get him toys for him to be good. He can't make guys around him better. He stinks. So I will say he is overrated and needs those weapons to go out there and look the part of the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes takes this crew and is 6-0.
I'm not even gonna. Okay, I'm gonna get to my overreactions. Vikings are the third best team in the NFC. The third best team in the NFC. And they're the third best team in the NFC North. Third best team in the NFC. 3 best teams in the NFC are all in the NFC North. And the Vikings are the third.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't think that is an overreaction at all. That division is so much better. Nope. God, I like watching the NFC North. Is that okay to admit? Like, it just makes me, it feels right.
It's like watching the NBA. You don't have a dog in the fight.
There is that, too.
We'll get to Brioche of the Weekend later on, and I talk a lot about the NFC North in my Brioche of the Weekend.
Okay.
And then Amari Cooper was the change we all thought it was for the Bills. It opened everything up. Keon Coleman had a great day. We don't need to get into how Josh Allen had 10 touchdowns and 0 picks before Amari Cooper was there. Mid. But, yeah, that Bills team is serious contenders.
Yeah, you can like them as serious contenders in the AFC least, maybe.
Yeah, like the AFC best? Come on, man.
Yeah. Who is the best division in the AFC? It is the North, right? And it's only, it's 2 teams now. 2 teams are eliminated. Cleveland and Cincinnati are out of the conversation. It's Pittsburgh and Baltimore right now.
No. Cincinnati's giving you exactly what they do every year. You 0 home in the beginning, and then you look at their end-of-the-year record, they're 11-6.
Right, sure
and Burrow's coming right back to Arrowhead for another matchup.
For another matchup here.
It could happen. It could happen.
Who has a better chance of coming here, Cincinnati or the Jets for a playoff game?
Cincinnati.
I think it's Cincinnati. The Jets are done, right? Is that an overreaction or is that just a normal reaction? Again, they're 2-5. They got to get to week 10 without losing a game just to be 500.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers got absolutely beat up.
Aaron Rodgers is done. He is over the hill. He is ineffective. And he's holding on for dear life.
So Josh Allen is trash. Aaron Rodgers is cooked. And
you want to argue Aaron Rodgers?
I think he's washed for sure.
Yeah.
I think last night was like the game where it's like he pulls the Raj from Lethal Weapon, like, I'm too old for this.
Right.
I don't know if I can keep doing this.
But do you think he quits? I mean, do you think
not
a chance, right? He just continues to play bad.
He still thinks he's an MVP.
Did he say that after the game? Please tell me he said that.
No.
We would have led with that.
No, he's going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight because he's alter ego is CM Punk. If you don't believe me, Google search CM Punk and he'll look just like Aaron Rodgers. Kareem Hunt, he's really fulfilled this role of the next man up as we get into that. Plus, the injury bug continues. This time it strikes on the side of the field that it hasn't so far this year. Dusty like it's Bob Fescoe, Mac Borey. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5. The Fan is your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
I'll tell you what, I was at the BMA golf tournament on Friday, and there it was, the orange tent that said Manning Roofing. And this is what I love so much about Manning Roofing, is that not only are they fantastic in putting that new roof on your house, but they're also unbelievable when it comes to the community. They were out there the other day hanging out with folks, supporting the foundation, giving back to the community, and that's just one of the great things about Manning Roofing. Some of the other great things about Manning Roofing are the employees, right? I talked to a lot of them on Friday, so happy that they work for Manning. They love working there. And when employees love working for a place, you know they're going to do great work for you. In fact, most of the crews have been together 5 years or more when they come put the roof on your house. And I even talked about how great Manning is when it comes to the new roof. They gave us a new roof a couple of years ago when we got hit by a storm, and they were unbelievable when it comes to customer service. And so if you're looking for a new roof on your house or you need to replace it because of the storm, get in touch with Manning today. And oh, by the way, they're a true general contractor, so anything that's wrong with the outside of your house, they can handle. You don't have to worry about contacting anyone else. And they've done thousands of jobs and have never once been rejected by an insurance company. So set up your appointment at manninggc.com or give them a call, 816-448-8208. Manning is my one-stop shop for roofs, gutters, siding, and windows. The choice is simple. It's Manning Roofing.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
When it comes to beef, nothing tops world-class highly marbled Wagyu. Booth Creek Wagyu's Overland Park Meat Market is ready to elevate your beef. Their farm-to-fork commitment brings this intensely rich and flavorful beef from the tall grass prairies north of Manhattan, Kansas, directly to your table. Stop into the store to see what our customers are calling the jewelry store of beef and taste the difference. Our in-store experts are sampling freshly seared Wagyu 7 days a week. Located in the shops at Deer Creek Woods at 135th and Metcalf.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve? Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine? Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Well, I do now. Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Yeah, you just said that. Did you say I just said that? Yeah, I'm cutting you off. Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Jay's Southland Tow Service on the Missouri side. I-70 westbound slows coming out of Blue Springs. You hit delays around Woods Chapel. Stays heavy over past 470 with an accident blocking the right lane. Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident, call Jay's Southland Tow Service 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all, so be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Back here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan on a Victory Monday day. I'm glad to have you, Mac Morey, with us as well, our executive producer. Not sure what we would do without that man back there, but the Chiefs know exactly what they're doing every single time, it seems, when it is next man up, when it comes to that mentality. Although I don't need to see Sky Moore anymore.
You're good with that, right?
I don't know why we even try.
I mean, yeah, because nobody else at this point. But I mean, good
Remigio
Lord.
or Ross.
Yeah, somebody from the practice squad's got to be better than that.
I mean,
seriously.
I understand that it wasn't the greatest throw.
You got to catch that though.
Come on.
You don't get many opportunities. You got to make the most of your opportunities, right? And he the last two times we've seen Sky Moore, he's dropped passes, if I'm not
Muffin
mistaken,
punts,
right?
dropping passes.
So
it's clearly affected his mental game,
no doubt.
Like it's in his head. He's a closer that gave up a home run and has not been the same.
He's
since.
not been the same. No, he needs to.
It is what it is. Kick the tires.
Yeah, just kind of move on from Sky Moore. But again, with the numbers of where they are right now, he's kind of filling a spot unless you can go out there and make a make a move for a wide receiver.
Juju was done right away. I saw the motion at the sideline as soon as he fell down and came back up. He did the hand thing like I'm done. Like I can't do this.
Yeah,
and
he was going to give it a go, and he did, and took one play, and he's back to the sideline. So
and that's the thing is and then after that, I was watching how they were going to set up. Obviously, they came out with the tight end sets. They did the the 11 and 12 personnel, and then at one point I saw Kareem Hunt was lined up in the slot, and I'm like, oh, this is where we're at now.
Right,
this is what we have to do. And I said, during the commercial break, I hope Brett Veach is calling people.
Right,
I hope he's out there being like, all right, what's up, New York? You got Drew Lock starting now. Daniel Jones gets benched. Your team sucks. Darius Slayton. And I know a lot of people are like, what's he going to do? He's a guy that can come into this system, I think, and with his sort of play, he's clearly better than what you currently have on your roster when it comes to wide receiver.
Well, did you have a conversation with John Lynch before you left San Francisco yesterday, being where they are on the season?
Did you see the long, in-depth conversation John Lynch had with Patrick Mahomes after the game?
No, I did not.
They were on the field after his interview.
Oh, really?
With Aaron Andrews, and they were kind of doing the drone shot away, and John Lynch and Patrick Mahomes were having a very good conversation one-on-one, John Lynch's like, hey, dude,
you're 5-0 against me. And,
can you stop playing me? I don't know what
can
you
do.
do.
Autograph this for my kid?
Can we clone you in San Francisco?
Can you do a selfie with me or something?
They had a long
conversation. Should I sign Brock Purdy, Patrick? What do you think?
Yeah.
One of those type of deals. But no, I think San Francisco now is open. I think Chris Conley is the type of guy. Remember, Andy Reid said in that press conference, what was it, last week, they want somebody that's familiar with the offense if they're going to go out and get a wide receiver.
So MVS.
Right? They could have had him already and chose not to, right? He's been sitting out there for, 10 days now probably, and, he's that car that you keep driving by on the lot, and you're like, I'm going to go find something better, but that'll still be there if we need it,
What percentage do you think it is that my MVS is a Chief?
I don't think it's very high as of right now.
So less than 20%?
Probably, yeah, but you never say never on anything.
It's higher than it was a week ago. I think if you ask asked me a week ago, I said 10. Now I'd say 20.
I don't know. Why is it higher today than it was a week
Juju's
ago?
down?
Because I watched Samaje Perine in the slot for like 40% of the snaps yesterday.
But is Juju down, or is it a hamstring spasm, or there's all kinds because on Friday I was told he should be fine, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets out there, and then the hamstring does its thing, and you kind of move on, and you get him out of the game, and you figure it out from there. But is it going to be a hamstring injury that lasts, or is it one of these things that he's going to be able to get through with a little, massage type thing? Who the hell knows, right? So you have to weigh that. I don't know. And again, I'm just speaking from my own opinion. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I don't want anything to do with MVS. The guy wasn't reliable,
But he won
last year.
Mahomes the Super Bowl and Aaron Rodgers.
But he did,
And,
I know. He's win Super Bowls for everybody. So, depending on where he goes, he wins Super Bowls. I think it's a last-ditch effort. I think you're going to explore a lot of things, but, you got to call San Francisco now and find out what their wide receiver situation is.
Yeah, what's
Obviously,
Juwan Jennings one? You think he's a good fit?
Yeah, right?
I mean, he destroyed him in the Super Bowl.
Go out and call the Giants at this point.
What about the Jags?
Well, Christian Kirk, but the money, kind of gets in the way. Gabe Davis could be.
I know you got a
somebody,
huge contract in the offseason, so that would make a whole lot of sense.
Right. Now Gabe Davis hasn't been that good this year, right? I mean, he's been
2 weeks ago. I think he had a decent ball game,
but that's been it, right? Like he's been kind of invisible. But of course, it's Jacksonville, and everybody's been kind of invisible down there. But I'm calling the Jets right now as well. I mean, Garrett Wilson yesterday with that interception, right? I mean, that bounce.
I like where your head's at.
No. They're 2-5.
Yeah.
They're 2-5. That roster is one you have to look at
Mike
right
Williams.
now and say, hey, who's available? You start to go through these rosters. This is the week now. We're 15 days away from the trade deadline, okay? So this week we'll start to see more teams waving the white flag. I think once they put Drew Lock in yesterday, and now they said after the game Daniel Jones is still the start. But even still, you put Drew Lock in yesterday, you're waving the white flag if you're the Giants. That roster is available to be picked apart right now. Cleveland is available, I think, to be picked apart at this point in time. Do the Patriots have anybody? But if so, you got to look at their roster. They're available to be picked apart right now. The Panthers are available to be picked apart right now. Some of these, your Tennessee Titans, man, I don't know what I don't know what that organization is all about right now.
They've got a lot of wide receivers.
That's an organization that should be waving the white flag, that should be available to be picked apart right now. So those are the things you have to start looking at right now. Who's going to pop this week that wasn't ready to be a seller last week, but now all of a sudden is like, all right, we're ready to make a move. We lost this game. We've got to move forward. We've got to wave the white flag, and we've got to go out there and start paring down our roster and getting draft picks back in return. Those are the teams that you need to start to look at right now. And I would do all of that before I go with MVS. I know MVS doesn't have any acquisition costs, but is that a guy that you really want to bring in and give Patrick Mahomes a little PTSD of this guy dropping passes all over the place last year?
I think there's probably a need for two bodies in that room. To me, I think you cut more, you lift up one of Remigio and Ross, and then you find that other body. Hopefully it's like a Darius Slayton. When you bring up names like Gabe Davis, this team needs a man beater who can get open in the intermediate and short parts of the field. Gabe Davis is a go route receiver. Darius Slayton works perfectly.
Yeah, Darius Slayton seems to be the name that everybody is talking about, but the Giants have to admit they suck.
Yes.
And until they admit they suck, which they do, it's hard to pry somebody away. Again, you can't just fly there and kidnap the gentleman. As much as we'd like to, you can't.
It was good to watch them get destroyed yesterday.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
Good for us.
Yeah, no, it was really good yesterday watching the Giants not even show up against the Eagles.
Somebody says try to get Tyler Lockett. Seattle, impressive win yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They're still fighting. They're not getting rid of
they're
anybody.
not going anywhere.
And DK Metcalf, we don't know the severity of his injury
his
yesterday.
injury now too, right?
They ain't getting rid of him. A lot of people think DeAndre Hopkins, but we heard last week that he's like battling like a slight MCL tear.
And
like,
do you want somebody who's damaged, right?
No,
I don't
want that at all.
No, I don't. I'm not. We had enough injuries, right? We're trying to overcome the injuries by getting somebody new. The last thing I want to do is go out and acquire a guy who's nursing an injury, and then that's going to be something that compounds as well. It's one thing to get injured. It's one thing to acquire it like a lemon and then have it break down,
It's kind of nice that the text line started to jump on my fandom here. It says both Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle had 2 targets yesterday. Try to get one of them.
Well, I mean,
been saying it.
Let's
been
talk.
saying it.
Who was the quarterback down there yesterday?
There was
Tubby
2.
Thurston or something?
There were 2
like Jake Bell? Like who the hell was playing quarterback yesterday for Miami? My God.
Well, their starter got hurt.
Thornton Mellon. I mean,
Todd Boyle.
Todd Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle. Yeah. Had one of those on my ass once. A boil. Oh my God, it was painful.
It's a visual I didn't need on a Monday morning. But we'll be joined by Chiefs all-time great here and a little bit later on in the show, DJ, the linebacker that we all love. And we get into more what this team needs, and maybe there's another question at injury that they might have to deal with as well. Bob Fescoe, Mac Morey, Dusty Likens. This is Fescoe and Dusty, and this is your home for Kansas City Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Week 7 of the NFL season wraps up tonight, and that means you got to get in on the FanDuel app. We got a couple of games for you tonight in the NFL. And you can enjoy all the NFL action with a chance to win on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you bet on this week's games. And there's so many ways to bet on FanDuel. You love parlays? They got a great parlay hub. How about some of the popular bets that they put on the home screen? You can have fun with those as well. And, of course, every Thursday they've got the FanDuel Squares. Just visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Creed. Are You Ready Tour with very special guests, 3 Doors Down and Mammoth WVH. November 6th, T-Mobile Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with 3 Doors Down and Mammoth WVH on the Are You Ready Tour.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. The rock holiday tradition returns. Saturday, December 7th, 2 shows, T-Mobile Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Bring the whole family to the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra live in concert.
Tune in this week to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, where they break down all the headlines in the NFL, presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on the iPhone 16 Pro.
Winchester at Lake City Army Ammunition Plant in Independence is the largest manufacturer of small caliber ammunition for the U.S. military. They're hiring technicians starting at $26.72 an hour with a $1,000 hiring bonus. Excellent day one benefits include medical, dental, educational support, paid time off, and company retirement contributions up to 8%. Join Winchester and serve the U.S. warfighter. It's more than a job. It's a mission. Apply at winchester.com/careers.
This is a special report from the Missouri Lottery. Please do not attempt to put giant checks in the bank's pneumatic tubes. You will be provided with a bank-compatible check or just cash. The Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
From maintenance to emergency repairs, Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling will keep you warm when it matters most. Contact us today and stay cozy all season long. Comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling, serving all of KC.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com. Kansas City Drag Racing is back. Join us for Hooktober at Flying H Drag Strip, October 25th and 26th, featuring pro mod cars, top dragsters, and quarter-mile drag racing. Plus, Night of Heroes, free entry for veterans with military ID. Get tickets now at FlyingHDragStrip.com. A real horsepower hangout.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 70 westbound slows coming out of Blue Springs. Hit delays at Woods Chapel. Stays mostly heavy over towards 470 and past 470. Accident in the right lane there, and there's a problem in the backup at Little Blue Parkway, adding to delays. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Needs. That's what we talk about next here on Fescoe and Dusty. DM, glad to have you on a Monday morning.
Hope everybody's doing good. As we were just talking about, it's still dark. Like the sun doesn't come up for another 32 minutes right now. 7:34 sunrise now. I don't like it.
Chiefs go down to San Francisco, or go west to San Francisco, I should say. Collect the victory on the road. Wins are wins. Stack them while you can. We'll get into a hypothetical a little bit later on what they need. But Watson, yes! Goes down yesterday.
Right.
Jaden Hicks, love that interception.
How about that?
Love that kid. Think he's going to be something special. Another Veach find in the secondary.
Yep. And then somebody named Chris Roland Wallace as well yesterday.
Better believe it.
CRW, baby.
Rolling in picks.
Whew.
But the opposite of what I thought would be yesterday is we'll get into the script as well as I allude to that. I got one thing right, which is I think I got two things right. The win, and I think there were actually 7 targets that Patrick Mahomes hit in the passing game. So, Yahtzee.
Nice.
This show will win you money. But the team is 6-0. The AFC West is all but, I know Denver's hanging around, but you'll play them in a couple weeks. That topic for another day. But wide receiver need is to me is an issue. I think they need to go get somebody. I'm sorry. The car is, there's too many dummy-o lights on in the car, like low oil, windshield wiper fluid's out, air's a little low in the back rear tire.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually that tire is going to blow, and you're going to be in a situation like I was yesterday when my battery died at 10 o'clock in the morning. And there are signs that's like giving you indication that could happen. Receiver goes down, corner goes down. Now you kind of have an issue where it's like the team has been affected on injuries only on the offensive side. Yesterday was the first time this year where a defensive guy went down, and now you might be with a third-string cornerback in your secondary.
But the one thing that this organization seemingly has done well over the last, 5, 7, 8 years is replace defensive backs, right? You saw Charvarius Ward leave. You saw L'Jarius Sneed leave, and the next guy seemingly always steps up. Now the next guy is hurt, right? In Jalen Watson. So can you manage with Hicks? Can you manage with CRW and guys that filled in yesterday? Or now does this become a bigger need? And does it become a bigger need than the wide receiver? Again, you got to factor it in almost like your household budget, right? Each month, you got $4 million still left to spend for the rest of the year. Do you need to spend that money on offense, or do you need to spend that money on defense? Now, there's a way you can go out and obviously spend that money on both sides of the ball, and it's not acquiring anybody, that's making any money at this point in time, and you may end up having to do that. But I think right now you may want to look for some defensive back help as you're scouring the wide receiver, market. You may want to go out there and start looking for a little defensive back help from a depth standpoint at this point in time, because losing Jalen Watson, that's a big loss, and it looks like broken ankle. He's probably done for a considerable amount of time. Andy Reid even said so yesterday, in his post-game press conference, that we're probably not going to see Jalen Watson for a good period of time. And so now you have to start to wonder, does that become a bigger need for the Chiefs? And the quote was, I think Jalen will be out long term. Reid said, we think, I'll see what the MRI says, but I don't think that's going to be great news. And so he left on crutches yesterday and whatnot out of the locker room. So you have to decide for yourself. And you may have a different, kind of way of viewing it than I do, and Mac and Veach and all these guys. Do you consider defensive back now a bigger need than wide receiver? And I will say yes for one reason and one reason only. Patrick Mahomes isn't on the defensive side of the football, and he does a really nice job of making everybody better around him. They may have to look for defensive back before they look for wide receiver and just say, sorry, Patrick, you do such a good job with everybody on offense. We're going to need some help on defense right now.
Mac, where's your heart tell you? Because I think it's receiver.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I mean, I understand, like, and the reason it's receiver is because I'm defending everything that you just said. They won a Super Bowl with, like, rookie secondaries. Right? Like, you know, like, I know McDuffie, the play he had on the sideline yesterday where he just knocked the ball.
Oh, my God. Out of Conley's hand, that was savage.
Which is, it's, by the way, real quickly, it's such a bittersweet situation for me with Trent McDuffie because I want to see him make great plays, but I don't get it enough because nobody wants to challenge him. And then yesterday when they did down the sideline, they had that little jump ball, like whatever you want to call it, and then he just ripped it out and then just stood there. It's like, this is the business I stand on.
Right.
You don't come to my side of the field.
Right. And that was it. They tried him one time and moved on.
And I think that when you look at the situation that you bring up, like, they've always seemingly been able to like fill that need on their own roster
They've
with
done
defense.
a good job.
Right?
Yeah, really
like,
good. Yep.
When Justin Reid wasn't in, Brian Cook was leaned on. Now, granted, high draft pick was supposed to be good, and it's going to be the future at safety when Justin Reid is eventually done.
Right.
And you look at when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they had young rookies playing and fulfilling that role. And to be fair, they had played 25 weeks their entire career, and they were getting ready to play the 3 biggest weeks of their entire NFL career and handle business.
Right, they did.
You're more injured on offense than you are on defense.
No doubt.
And what's made their secondary, I think, great is because of that defensive front. That defensive front causes quarterbacks to scramble, causes quarterbacks to think quicker, which your defensive line gives your secondary a boost because they don't have to cover as long. And when they do cover long, it gives your deep. They're just hand in hand. They're a great component to each other. And this is the first real big injury on the defensive side. I think maybe I'm missing something. I could be wrong, but this is something where I think when it comes to receiver, like, you're down wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, and you're down RB1. Kareem Hunt has been fantastic, but you're down 1, 2, 3 receivers. You're down 1 corner. So the addition to me should be the receiver position because I think Mahomes does need somebody else.
Yeah.
And, you can talk about how Mahomes has been, meh this year, hasn't been great. But, he can only run like that. I don't want to see him run like that very often.
God, no,
right?
no. It was great, but
it's cool
we don't
to see.
need that.
It's cool to see him truck a guy in the end zone and stand over his limp body, which, sorry, that's
Mustafa.
the game. That's the game. That's going to happen to a Chiefs player. That's going to happen to a Ravens player. Whoever gets trucked, that's the initial reaction.
Mustafa wasn't king of anything that night, I'll tell you.
And everything the light touches is ours.
Yeah, I just can't wait to be. Oh God, I just got blown up by Mahomes.
That's right. And I think, in
Can
my
you feel
opinion,
the love tonight? No.
is to me the biggest part of the additions they need is a wide receiver because, Mahomes doesn't need as many weapons as everybody else, but he can't have any weapons. And like Max said, Samaje Perine lined up in the slot. Kareem Hunt lined up in the slot. Sky Moore having to go out there. It's like, do you want to see 24 go out there and drop another pass?
Not really, no.
Or would you rather see a guy like Deontay Johnson, Slayton?
Barry Slayton.
And apparently the text line, helpful as always, MVS working out in New Orleans because they're beat up.
Yeah.
And
they're pretty much done for the year, though, too. I was hearing something yesterday. They're pretty much ready to cash it in down there.
5 losses in a row.
Right.
5 in a row.
Yeah.
Chiefs broke them.
Yeah, they're done. They don't have a quarterback.
No. And so, to me, long, words of language, receivers the addition.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to argue that. I think both right now, if you were to go out and acquire a defensive back right now, and somebody suggested to me, our friend Zach Gelb on Infinity Sports Network, he sent me a text yesterday. He goes, I was talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick potentially to the Chiefs last week, and I'm like, that's not a bad addition. Like, if you go out and get somebody at defensive back, you could potentially get better at that spot. Like, I wouldn't care if they went out and added a defensive back. I'm not going to care if they go out and add a wide receiver. I'm here, and if Brett Veach decides we need this, then that's what they need. And if Andy Reid decides we need that, then who am I to argue with the greatest head coach GM combination that maybe we've ever seen in professional sports at this point in time, right? So whatever they decide to do. But I think they're going to be looking at both spots this week. I think they're going to be looking at corner, and I think they're definitely going to be looking, at wide receiver because, now you're looking at a depth chart that has Jaden Hicks as probably one of your starters, Najee Johnson going to be in there, the CRW, Chris Roland Wallace, who I'd never heard of until yesterday, Shamari Connor as well, Joshua Williams, who knows where they
go with him. So you've got guys on the roster. Maybe they just allow one of them to step up and do focus all of their efforts on that wide receiver spot. But, just looking around and trying to figure out what they want to do, I think they have needs at both of those positions right now. And if they decided to target defensive back, then they decide to target defensive back.
Our injury doctor, Mackenstein?
I hope the Chiefs take a lesson from this and say, hey, you know what? You can save yourself, and we have this season. The Chiefs have 6-0. But also, you don't have to. These were two things that I addressed before the season. A lot of people did, the cornerback depth and the wide receiver depth. A lot of people thought they needed to add in both those positions before the year. Well, oh no, the Chiefs corners are great. They always next man up. And oh no, the wide receiver, it's Mahomes. It's fine. The offensive line's Mahomes. It's Andy. No, sometimes you actually do need to help your players in your team out. And I thought that the Chiefs could have addressed one of these things before the season. Now they're going to have to address both. I would say wide receiver is by far the biggest need, though. There's no question to me.
No doubt about it.
And Charles Omenihu is coming back. The pass rush is going to get a bump up.
Oh, who said we needed to add pass rushers?
Nobody.
Well, that'll help the secondary.
That'll help
your
secondary.
Right.
That's right. People still falling in love with the old take from Dusty Likens. Go give Tyreek Hill a chance. So go wave a flyer at Tyreek Hill. Hey, look, Kareem Hunt's got a little bit of extra juice because you get another shot at Kansas City. Could you imagine what Tyreek Hill would think if he came here? Boy, it'd be great. Boy, would it be great. Coming up on the other side, Derek Johnson, Chiefs all-time great linebacker, joins Fescoe and Dusty here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
My friend Dawn Sharp is selling homes in Kansas City like it's going out of style, right? And if you've been thinking about selling your home, Dawn Sharp and her team is the call to make. Whether it's a bad experience or even a lack of experience, home selling can be stressful. So what's holding you back? The key is to trust an expert who has your best interest at heart, and that's Dawn Sharp at the Sharp Homes team. You can trust Dawn and her team of experts to walk you through every single step of the way. And with her extensive marketing system, she knows how to drive the price of your home higher than you ever thought possible. Dawn Sharp and her team will bring you the most buyers. That's why, on average, they sell a home every 72 hours. So you want to work with an agent that you know you can trust that helps families all over Kansas City. The Sharp Homes team can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, well, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them at Sharp Homes team and see how many 5-star reviews they have. I'll save you the trouble. Over 200 5-star Google and Zillow reviews. Plus, in the last 12 months, Dawn and her team have sold over 120 homes, while the average agent sells 4 homes per year. So check them out at homesforsaleinkc.com. That's homesforsaleinkc.com, and start packing.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Neighbors getting new roofs due to hail damage this year? Then you're a likely candidate for a new roof, too. Century Roofing, voted best roofing company in Johnson County 3 years straight, is giving back this holiday season. For all roof repair and replacement contracts signed before the end of the year, Century Roofing will donate a portion of proceeds to benefit Operation Breakthrough, which helps KC kids in need. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for an inspection today. That's CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength. It's better over here.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has an exclusive rate plan just for you. Right now, get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings versus Verizon and AT&T. Plus, you can get one of the latest 5G phones free when you add a line. That's right, a free 5G phone. Experience all this and more on America's largest 5G network. So why wait? At T-Mobile, customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Just go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 or visit your local store to make the switch.
With AutoPay using debit or bank account plus taxes and fees, 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Free phones up to $300 off with 24 monthly bill credits and qualifying new line for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Contact us before canceling entire account to continue remaining bill credits. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See details at T-Mobile.com.
It takes a lot to prepare for game day as a dedicated fan, and preparing the perfect tailgate meal might be most important of all. That's why Hellman's Real Mayonnaise is the MVP. Hellman's Mayonnaise is the secret to bring out the rich and creamy taste to all your game day dishes, from buffalo chicken dip to your favorite sub sandwich and everything in between. So give it a try, and mayo game day be delicious with Hellman's Real Mayonnaise. Shop at your local Walmart, Kroger, or grocery store and add some extra deliciousness to your game day dishes this football season.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can upgrade your home with up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like Whirlpool. Enhance your kitchen with quality and convenience from Whirlpool, like the freestanding electric range with built-in air fryer and the tall tub dishwasher with third rack. All available at the Home Depot. Right now, shop Labor Day savings up to $1,500 off select appliances at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side, I-70 westbound slows in Blue Springs. Things have lightened up a little bit past Woods Chapel. It's pretty heavy from Little Blue Parkway out past 470 with an accident still blocking the right lane. Lee Summit, US 50 westbound sluggish from 3rd Street up to 470. Allen Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
The Chiefs seem to always win because of all the small things
they focus
they
on
do
that.
right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Happy Monday. Don't worry, the sun's still not up.
It's starting to get a little bit lighter out there right now.
I love it. I'm in the minority of this. I think it's awesome when it's dark at 7:30 because I don't feel like a piece of garbage if I'm like, oh, well, it's bedtime.
At night, you mean? Yeah. No.
In the morning doesn't matter. It's dark every time we come to work anyway.
No, I know, but like in the
By the time we leave,
summertime, you
it's-
can see the sunlight starting to come up early. and
Winter is
whatnot.
coming, Bob.
I know. Not a fan. Don't like it. Hate it.
Before we get into Derek Johnson, who will join us here in about 5 minutes, I want to have a conversation again about the confusion that I consistently have with the Coach of the Year award. And I think that I will sound like a homer and extremely home field court or home field bias, home court bias. Like, the thing about the award every year is that it goes to somebody who was a flash in the pan that took something that wasn't supposed to be what it is and made it better.
And made it average, usually,
right? Dan
right?
Campbell's won this award. Kevin Stefanski's won this award multiple times.
Times.
Deserved it last year, right? Flacco off the minivan carpool lane to almost being the number 1 seed in the AFC, legitimately. Dan Quinn is probably your leader this year in the clubhouse because of what he's done with the Commanders. We'll see without Daniels if they can continue to do that. Yesterday, like Max said, Mariota was good. That's a fact. It's one game for a team that planned against Daniels, not Mariota. We'll see if that continues for Marcus Mariota in Washington. But Andy Reid, if you take, and I love having this conversation today because it merits it. If you just said Mahomes would be 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, Isaiah Pacheco would be hurt, Hollywood Brown wouldn't play an offensive snap, Rashee Rice would get hurt in week, 4?
4.
And you had to go sign Kareem Hunt. and you just said, what do you think the Chiefs' record is?
6-0.
That's Bob Fescoe. I think a lot of people would have said if they're 500, if they're 3-3, I'd be thrilled. And I'm trying to speak from the normal person. Not saying you're abnormal, but I'm just saying like somebody would be like, oh, 3-3, and they don't have Rasheed Rice, Hollywood Brown, Isaiah Pacheco, and Mahomes has those stats. Oh man, 3-3, I'd love it. Oh, and by the way, Travis Kelce's doing this, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-0, and Andy Reid should be the front runner for Coach of the Year. And there's another reason why. Never in our lifetime, ever, I say never, will a defensive coordinator win Coach of the Year. But there's a strong-ass point that Steve Spagnuolo deserves Coach of the Year.
Well, it goes to the head coach.
And they can share that, where Andy Reid at the end of the day can be like, yeah, I won Coach of the Year, but this is mine and Spags' award. Because that defense is insane. Like, you look at the totals up there. 20 points allowed, 25 points allowed, 17, 10, 13, 18. Those are good offensive teams. Now, their combined opponents' record is 19-20.
Yeah.
You look at that overall, you're like, but
that's the league.
But they've done this where we looked at the schedule ahead of time. We thought, man, get through the bye and get a win against San Francisco, which now Andy Reid, I think, is 22-4 after the bye. I think it was 20-4 or 21-4. Now he's a win better and a loss not so much.
Right.
And Andy Reid has dealt with adversity, and they are still undefeated. In fact, they're the only undefeated team. So if the logic and the narrative of winning Coach of the Year is to do something that you're maybe not expected to do, to be 6-0 and have these many injuries on offense and your quarterback not be the quarterback that everyone expects him to be, and your tight end is taking what we can all admit is a step back, there's no doubt in my mind that Andy Reid's the Coach of the Year. And if you think it's also because of Spags, then give it to Andy and let them be in the office together and say, this is our award. We both deserve this. Because, look, quarterbacks always win MVP, right? I know the last one to not win it was Adrian Peterson, and he had to run for 2,000 yards.
Right.
You could argue that the defensive coordinator in Pittsburgh deserves Coach of the Year, or that Mike Tomlin deserves Coach of the Year.
Tomlin could make the case for Coach of the Year, winning with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and sitting at 5-2. My God.
And arguably the toughest division in the AFC.
Right.
But this is one of those things where I think you have to take the old take off of like, oh, it belongs to Dan Quinn or it belongs to Kevin O'Connell. Minnesota was supposed to be good. Now they're doing it with Sam Darnold, so I'll give them credit there.
Yeah.
But Minnesota was a playoff favorite going into this year. They were good last year. Now they met without Kirk Cousins. They had a new change of quarterback. So Kevin O'Connell gets a lot of credit for what he's doing in Minnesota. I'm not against that. LaFleur, also credit what he's done without Jordan Love being in, and with Jordan Love being in, they're now 5-2, massive division that they're winning. But Andy Reid, what he's done with the adversity they've had, deserves a little bit of credit in the conversation.
But you're also giving credit to guys for what you say we shouldn't be giving credit for. Like, they took these situations and they made them better. Andy Reid continues to just truck along. And Andy Reid is not just the best head coach this year. He is the best head coach in NFL history. I think it's becoming clearer by the day that Andy Reid is the greatest head coach that this league has ever seen. And I will, again, go down with the ship on this one and say Andy Reid needs to be the Coach of the Year because he's doing it obviously with diminished, resources on the offensive side of the football. But teams are so much more than just an offensive side of the football. But it seems like that's all we point the credit to. What they're doing on defense is just as impressive as what they're doing on offense because they're limiting the opposition. They're not allowing the opponent to score. They've got 2 games now where they've allowed over 20 points. Those are the first 2 games of the season. The Chiefs have not allowed over 20 points on defense, Dusty, since week 2 of the NFL season. We're now in week 7. Week 2 of the NFL season was on the 15th of September. We're on the 21st of October. So now we've gone 5 weeks where this organization has not allowed a defensive or an offensive team to score over 20 points. Right. That's where it all comes in. You give Coach of the Year honors to Andy Reid. You give Assistant Coach of the Year honors to Steve Spagnuolo. But it's time that Andy Reid starts to, and I know he won't look at this as respect, but it's time that he does start to get the respect of these people who vote for Coach of the Year and realize, my God, Andy Reid every year wins. How many coaches consistently win every year? He's never been below 500 as the coach of the Chiefs. He's had 1 season below 10 wins as head coach of the Chiefs. He has more injuries that continue to mount up at key positions maybe than any other team out there, and they find a way to get it done. It's time Andy get recognized as the greatest coach that we've ever seen.
He's the Chiefs' all-time leading tackler and 4-time Pro Bowler.
Derek Johnson picks it. He's up the right sideline, 30-yard line, 25, and down into Washington territory. Derek Johnson.
But to us, he's our forever linebacker.
I want to be battle tested. I want to go through some adversity. I want to go through some things where you say, "Oh man, we gotta figure this out."
Here's number 56, Derek Johnson, with Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
That's right. Middle linebacker talk currently going on Fescoe and Dusty. Community America Credit Union is what DJ is sponsored by here on Fescoe and Dusty. Community America Credit Union, member owner, open to all. Invested in you and also sheet metal workers. Local number 2 as we welcome Derek Johnson to the show. Happy Victory Monday to you, DJ. And man, I'll tell you what, that defense really put Brock Purdy in a vice yesterday.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I was smiling from ear to ear. When you go on the road, you got to stop the run and you got to run the ball, and that's exactly what the Chiefs did. I'm so proud of our defense, big time. I mean, over the years we've given given our offense so much deserving credit with Pat Mahomes and Kelsey and what they have going on throughout the years. And I'm just telling you, the last couple of years, man, this defense has said, "Hey, we're superstars too." And once again, holding an opponent to under 20 points, man. This is the best defense in the league, man. And they are playing on every single level when it comes to the rushing the passer, getting after the quarterback, affecting the quarterback, and the back end, linebackers, the DBs. I mean, we play tough all over the field.
And Nick Bolton is starting to play really good now, too. He strung together about a pretty good month. I thought yesterday he was spectacular playing that middle linebacker position.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He's got a knack for just staying alive, being able to be that center of the defense that's good in the pass game, good in the run game. He's just a super smart player. I keep forgetting how young he is, man. These players, the Chiefs are in great hands with guys like Nick.
DJ, I want to bring this up because I know that there's always a time in like probably a professional athlete's career where it's like, did you ever dream of wanting to play for, with this guy? Like some people be like, oh man, like I'm sure Dwayne Bowe at some point, it's like, man, I can only imagine what it would have been like to play with Patrick Mahomes and my quarterback. What would it be like for you to play with a Spags defense?
Oh man. Oh, I would love it. I would love it, man. Just what he presents when it comes to exotic blitzes, being able to get after the quarterback. On third down he's coming, or he's showing something, making the quarterback think about what's going on. But man, the Spags has got it going on, and he knows his defense well. They have an identity, and they are getting after it every single time. They're tough, man. They don't care what the offense does. Offense can mess up here and there, and I tell you what, the defense is like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll get the ball back. We'll intercept the ball in the end zone. We'll take points away. Man, that's a good feeling for everyone else on the team, coaches and offensive players.
I mean, even Tom Brady yesterday said that Spags is the bane of his existence. I mean, have we seen a coach in recent memory have this much impact on a game like Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid are currently having with this team right now?
No, not at all. Andy Reid should. I mean, it's a little early, but I mean, you talk about Coach of the Year, you talk about certain awards. Andy's name is at the top of that food chain, at the top of that list, and it's simply other than finding ways to win, being good on adjustments, but the defense. That's at the top of the list when you think about Coach of the Year. You think about how special this team is. You have to mention the defense first.
You do, and a lot of times in this league, we don't. We're talking about all the injuries that they have on offense, and Andy Reid is Coach of the Year, or they're not doing this on offense, but, man, they're still 6-0. I think, and for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying this, DJ, like, to talk about the offense, missing players, and them still being 6-0 is almost a disrespect to the defense, but for whatever reason, in the NFL, we don't want to talk about great defenses in this league, but you know what? There's more and more of them each week, and the Chiefs and Steelers are probably 1 and 2 on top of the two best defenses right now in the NFL.
Well, it matters. It matters. Exactly what you said. It matters. And regardless if this is a defensive person talking, regardless if we don't get that credit, that's defensive players are built a little different. We don't have to be divas or whatnot and get credit. We just go out and do our job when we're told to, and we'll time will tell our story. Time will tell our story when it comes to at the end of the year, when it comes to playoff time, when it comes to big time football, and what we've put together throughout the season. And we're I don't want to say we're peaking right now, but man, it's hard to be better than what we're doing, man. This is pretty amazing, especially with just being able to get off the field on third down. That just gets Mahomes and gets Andy Reid and those guys an opportunity to score more, to figure it out, right? There are times where, when Pat threw the ball and somebody tipped it, a D lineman tipped it and caught it, it's like that happens. We're not worried about that. We'll go back and get the ball back, and that's what they did.
When you watch this defense play, too, it always kind of seems that, and I know yesterday was kind of different, but it seems like maybe I'm wrong here because, obviously we're just blowhards that talk on the air and never played football professionally in our lives, never will. But it seems like almost like Spags lets you kind of show you what you want and then kind of sees your tells the rest of it's almost like a poker player sometimes. Is that kind of the vibe there? Like he kind of sees what you like to do and then immediately attacks it and makes you try to like adverb or tries to, improvise what you can do after that. And at that point, you're just eating out of the palm of his hand.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. It seems like you watch a little ball, but
sometimes
that's exactly what he does. It's when you play in the NFL, everybody has a plan coming into the game. Hey, this is what we saw on film. This is what we're going to present to them. And then when you get in the game, it's like, oh, this is what they want to do to us. Now we got to change it up. And now Spags like, okay, y'all want to get in this formation and try to crunch us up or whatnot and not have us to get room. We'll play this defense on you. Now what you going to do? And now there's through all that they're searching like, oh, what we're going to combat with now or counter with. And seems like they've been having a lot of success where teams cannot counter on the Chiefs because we are just kicking people's butts.
DJ, speaking of kicking people's butts, Kareem Hunt has been able to do that since he's come over here. And I said earlier that I think he's the most important addition that this team has now made this season, even more so than, free agencies and the draft and all that. Kareem Hunt's been a huge difference maker for this team. They're not 6-0 without Kareem Hunt right now.
So true. So true. What a story. What an adverse situation early in his career to come back. Everything that's happened. He's been around the world a little bit, and now he's back home, I should say. And we need Kareem Hunt right now. We really do. And that's exactly right. He's a tough, crafty runner, different runner from any running back in the NFL. I'm not saying he's the best running back in the NFL, but he's a runner that's great for Andy's scheme when it comes to getting downhill. A lot of trap plays, a lot of gap scheme stuff, and sometimes he's all the way downhill. He never goes sideways. If he's going sideways, it's for 1 second, and he's getting his foot in the ground. So you talk about somebody that can run efficiently. He ran about three or 4 yards to carry yesterday, and 78 yards. Tough runner, 22 carries. A couple touchdowns. He was smiling. I like to see Kareem smiling.
Keeping it more on the defensive side here, DJ, as we are talking to Derek Johnson, the former middle linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. What complements the other more? The defensive line complements the secondary, or the secondary helps the defensive line?
Oh, that's a great question, man. Oh, I've seen both.
Yeah.
I've seen where defensive linemen get after the quarterback, and it's not good coverage in the back end, and the quarterback throws a bad ball or throws it up, and the defense and the defensive backs benefit from it. Mm-hmm. And I've seen the other way around where you say, man, we're covering up, covering the receivers up, and the quarterback, has 4 seconds to throw the ball, which is way too long, but still eventually the defensive line gets there. So it's a perfect marriage. It's the best marriage in football when you counter or you put together the rush and the pass coverage, and they are working in harmony right now.
They really are, because they've got good players at every level. You got a Hall of Famer on your defensive line. You got an all-pro at your linebacker. You got all-pros at your, defensive back position. Like, it really all works, and that's why when you see, like, Jalen Watson go down yesterday, you wonder, like, man, how much of an impact is this going to have? What kind of impact is that going to have on this defense?
Well, by the way, everybody that stepped in to the defense, to the Chiefs defense, has balled out. And I don't care the rookie free agent. I don't care who it is. They have an identity. They have a system that plugs and plays, and that's what you got to have in the NFL. Got to have depth. So hats off to Beach and just doing a great job by picking the right guys. I've been playing a while in the league, and every year it's not like that. You say, man, how did we miss on this? How did we miss on that guy? They're not missing at all. And Justin Reid is, man, he's at the top of that. He's at the top.
So do you think it's more important to get a wide receiver or a defensive back right now? If you could only get one, who do you go with?
I would go with you're talking about for the Chiefs?
Yeah, for the Chiefs, yeah.
Well, you have to go you have to go receiver. You have to go receiver just because our defense is humming. We can not to be on our hard hat, but we can put anybody in right now, and our defense is good, especially with Chris Jones and George Karlaftis getting after the quarterback. But we definitely need a receiver. I'm just thinking down the line, we can win games still. That's obviously we pulled out a tough one yesterday, and it really wasn't as close as the score may seem, because we kind of impose our will on teams, and our number one receiver was great. Not to discredit great. Right. He's great for us. But we can have another receiver. Yes.
Okay. Well, DJ, remember the Raiders? They mimicked Patrick Mahomes with a puppet, so that's their opponent this week. I pray for the Raiders this week, and I'm sure you will as well. So we appreciate that's right. We appreciate the time, man. We'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, take it easy.
Derek Johnson there, presented by Community America Credit Union. Community America Credit Union, member owner, open to all, invested in you, and also sheet metal workers, local number 2. So he's team wide receiver.
Team wide receiver, yeah.
And he says, I apparently watched some ball. Mm-hmm. So take that, text line. I'm just kidding. I love the text line. Haters or not, I love you all. I'm a lovable person. But no, I think I really don't know that question. Like, is it the defensive line helping the secondary? Is the secondary helping the defensive line? I think it's like yes and yes on every other play.
I always go back to something Dick Vermeil said years ago when we were talking about defensive backs, and it was Barty and Warfield. And we're like, who are you going to start, Barty and Warfield? And Dick Vermeil's like, it doesn't matter. If we can't get anybody to get to the quarterback, we can have Deion Sanders in the defensive backfield, and it doesn't matter. And so I've always gone with, if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, to me, it doesn't matter how good your defensive backs are. So it starts up front. It really does. It sounds so elementary to me. Mm-hmm. But if you have, the three of us on the defensive line, Trent McDuffie's not going to be an all-pro. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And those guys getting after the quarterback, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, obviously Mike Dana was out this week, and he doesn't, he didn't get after the quarterback this week, but Turk Wharton and some of these other guys that you got on the defensive line, if they're not getting to the quarterback, those defensive backs back there are going to run around for hours, and eventually somebody's going to get open. So to me, I think it really does start on that defensive line.
It's my favorite segment of the show. Monday mornings, we get back to what was in the script, how wrong or right we were, here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, are you waking up this morning with some aches and pains? Maybe you've got arthritis. Maybe you kind of inflamed it over the weekend doing some yard work or playing golf or whatever the case may be. But you know what? You don't have to keep living with that joint pain. Real lasting relief is possible with help from QC Kinetics. And people here in Kansas City are getting their lives back and getting their mobility back thanks to my friends over at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular therapies that can revitalize your joints. And I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine
medicine, using your own body's healing properties, highly concentrated and carefully placed right in your achy joint. Whether it be back pain or shoulder pain or knee pain, these are cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Plus, it's a quick in-office procedure that can get you moving again. And these protocols have been developed by medical professionals and under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp, a former orthopedic surgeon and pioneer in clinical regenerative medicine. So if you have that arthritis pain in your knees, your hips, your back, or your shoulder, you owe it to yourself to learn more. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
When you have an expert financial partner invested in you, you can't help but feel like a star. Like the new graduate opening their first investment account, the small business owner proudly adding a new location, or the young couple buying their first home. At Community America, we're invested in helping members achieve financial peace of mind with products and services tailored to each stage of life. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
When it comes to beef, nothing tops world-class highly marbled Wagyu. Booth Creek Wagyu's Overland Park Meat Market is ready to elevate your beef. Their farm-to-fork commitment brings this intensely rich and flavorful beef from the tall grass prairies north of Manhattan, Kansas, directly to your table. Stop into the store to see what our customers are calling the jewelry store of beef and taste the difference. Our in-store experts are sampling freshly seared Wagyu 7 days a week. Located in the shops at Deer Creek Woods at 135th and Metcalf.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New DayQuil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 29 southbound, pretty heavy from Parvin down past 16th Avenue with a problem. 70 westbound, slow through Blue Springs and then off again on again out past Lee Summit Road with earlier problems. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Right back in here on a Monday. Bob Fescoe, Dusty Likens. You can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You put us on your TV.
Yeah, baby.
You can see this lovely lip cabbage I got rocking today.
Yeah, you look like Austin Wells over
the beard's,
there.
It'll come
all
back.
right.
It'll be all right. It'll be fun.
I'd wait till it comes back. Like,
What?
I'd get rid of the mustache altogether and grow it all back as one.
No, I need some sort of. Otherwise, I get like carded for everything.
So that's a good
Snickers, gas. Like, are
I
you
got
sure you should be
carded for
driving?
canned air the other day. Did I tell you that?
Well, that's because there's a trend going on.
There is. Okay, so I need
High schoolers are like basically doing whippets off of it.
off of canned air. Like, okay, back in the day, whippets were, never mind.
Yeah.
So I go to Target the other day because I need canned air for my
Keyboards
phone.
and stuff?
No, my phone. Like, it wasn't charging, and there was like a piece of dust in there, so I was going to get this canned air, right? And so I get up to the counter, and the guy's like, "I need your ID." I'm like, "For what?" He goes, "They're hoofing it." I go, "They're hoofing what?" He goes, "They're spraying it in the bag and they're hoofing it." And I'm like, "Oh, God." I said, "It's canned air, man. Like, I'm a 47-year-old middle-aged father. Do you think I'm going to go home and hoof air?"
Mac, who do you want to go first on the script?
Let's do.
Speaking of getting carded, that guy ought to get carded for everything.
Mac?
Yeah, look how young he is. I mean, he probably does get carded, right? Do you still get carded?
Yeah,
Drinking from the sweet
Still.
nectars of youth.
When I don't get carded, I'm like, hey, come on.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know what the hell's going on?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who do you want to go first, Dusty? You want to go first?
I'll do it. Yeah,
All
go
right, let's
ahead.
do it.
I, like Bob, think San Francisco gets early points because the Chiefs always seem to give up a first drive touchdown or field goals, and then the Chiefs respond with points in this game. It'll be Mahomes to mini targets this game. I think this is one of those mini target games of Patrick Mahomes. I think 7 different people have a reception. Kareem Hunt is big in this game, but it's not until the late third, early fourth. I look at this game as a let my starter get me to 7 and let my bullpen clean it up. I think that Kareem Hunt can be that guy that you bring your closer in the 8th.
When was the last time a starter went 7 in baseball these days?
Garrett Cole, game 5, or game 4, whatever it was. But no, I think that the Kareem Hunt gets big and gets going late into the 3rd and then most of the 4th, and that's where you see a lot of his yards take over. I like this D-line to get at least 2.5 sacks total, with 95 getting at least 1.5 sacks this weekend. I also think this is another game where we see the Chamari Connors disguised Spagnuolo blitz late sack in the game against Brock Purdy, and I do believe the Chiefs win this game. I believe it's close till the end. 24-13, Chiefs beat the Niners.
Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Shamari
Such a
Connor
homer.
was disguised as Trent McDuffie at one point, which is fine. You got the play right, just the person wrong, but you knew it was coming, and you got 7 targets. There were 7 guys that received a target in that game, or a catch, I should say, in that game. 9, I think, received targets, but you nailed that one, so that's pretty good.
I had the Chiefs 4 points shy, and I had the Niners 5 points shy. So 24-13, final score is 28-18. So not too much of a stretch for some Homer Chiefs guy.
Not bad. Not bad.
Who's next?
All right, so this game screams to me an Xavier-worthy breakout. So when we
Should've
play this team, I
been.
feel like we got a lot of motions, a lot of window dressing. Nick Bosa's looking one way, then the ball's going the other way. We're keeping him out of the game, right? We're keeping that defense thinking way too much.
So are the referees.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. All the holding that the
That's
refs
right.
didn't call, exactly. But who plays well against this team on the Chiefs historically? Well, McCole Hardman. I think now that's going to be Xavier-worthy, kind of filling in to that Hardman role, jet sweeps, eye candy, a lot of speed in those motions. He's got at least 70 yards and a touchdown with 1 big play. And then Kareem Hunt, you heard it from Bob. I think he's going to have a nice day as well. We'll start the convo, actually, about what we do with him once Pacheco comes back. I think that's how well Kareem Hunt will look. And I think in a plot twist, the Chiefs' run defense looks maybe the worst it has, which is a damn high bar. But I think they're actually going to allow 70 yards on the ground, which isn't a lot. I just think they're actually going to get 70 yards allowed. Debo will have a good run, and Brock Purdy will throw a pick near the end of the game to Justin Reid. Chiefs win 24-20.
Some right, some wrong. Justin Reid got a pick. You're right, but so what? He got a pick. You're right about the rushing yards, 101 yesterday for San Francisco. And you were wrong about Worthy. 1 attempt for 5 yards. That was it. No receptions yesterday. Now, would have had a big play had Mahomes not overshot him, right? That was the one at the start.
Did he stop running full speed, or did Mahomes actually overthrow a guy that runs a 4.21?
I think Mahomes, I'm going to say because it's more impressive, Mahomes overthrew him.
I was just like, because that's the first thing in my head is like, did he really just overthrow him?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, he really did.
Are we ready for Bob?
Yep.
No.
Sunday. The 49ers will receive. They'll move right down the field. They'll grab an early lead. Whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, the 49ers will have an early lead. It will be one of 2 drives where the 49ers come away with points. Travis Kelce, still being compared to George Kittle for whatever reason, will have a good day. He'll get about 80 yards receiving and a touchdown. The star of the offense, though, Kareem Hunt. He will make the red zone offense finally click after the last 2 years of that red zone offense riding that struggle bus, man. Hunt will also get close to 30 carries in the game as the Chiefs are trying to mask for that kind of lack of wide receivers at this point in time. Worthy will have one big play over 20 yards. Noah Gray will grab a red zone touchdown as well. And Chris Jones will come up with a late sack of Brock Purdy to ice the game for Kansas City as they move to 6-0.
Nailed it.
Pretty good, man.
No, Gray didn't have a touchdown.
No.
Chris Jones didn't come up with a late sack. I mean, those two don't count. They were 3 for 3 in the red zone. And Kareem Hunt only had 22 rushing attempts yesterday and 2 targets, 2 receptions, so 24. I said 30, so I was wrong in that one as well. But close. I mean, you know, Kareem Hunt with that red zone stuff, man, is just a game changer right now. We finally have that running back that is effective in the red zone, and it looks good and it looks wonderful. And if that, you know, improves their greatest weakness going into the season, I think was red zone offense and short yardage, they sure as hell were able to fix that by going out and signing Kareem Hunt. But still lacking a little bit in that passing game. Patrick Mahomes not great yesterday, 154 yards and a couple of interceptions. Brock Purdy not much better, 17-31, 212 yards and 3 interceptions on the day. Just not a good day passing for either one of those quarterbacks yesterday.
I think at one point it was like 1 for 7 with like 12 yards.
Mahomes or Purdy?
Purdy deep into the second quarter. No, Mahomes was hitting like Noah Gray early. Like Noah Gray, we need to get him into the script at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, 6 rushing touchdowns yesterday.
Yeah.
No passing. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, in a league that predicates itself as this passing first league, right? Running the football has
Each
become
quarterback had a rushing
very big.
touchdown. Right, Purdy had
Purdy had
1
2.
yard.
Yeah, right,
he had 2.
yeah.
Mahomes had 1. Kareem had 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, look, Stack wins early.
Yeah. And you see what's coming up on the schedule now for the Chiefs, right? Like everybody's talking about what's going to happen with the Chiefs and whatnot. They've got some of the worst defense or offensive teams coming up on their schedule. You've got the Raiders this weekend. They're no good, right?
But then it's Tampa and Buffalo.
But then it's Tampa, and then it's Buffalo. But after that, then you got Denver, and you got Carolina. You got the Raiders again. Like, you know, I saw a stat this morning that the Chiefs have the 22nd toughest schedule going down the stretch. That means they're pretty much near the bottom, right? They don't have a tough schedule going down the stretch, so they can go out there and assert their will early in these games, knock some of these bottom feeders out, and not have to go to the wall in the second half of these games, kind of ease back a little bit, let your defense take over. So you've got yourself setting up nicely with the schedule. You're right, Tampa Bay is in there. We're going to see a lot about Tampa tonight, I think, on Monday Night Football, and then Denver after that. So 2 of your next 3 are division rivals, but this division, for all intents and purposes, is over as well.
Yeah, tomorrow officially starts Raider Week as we get into all the puppet scenarios and the Kermit the Frog. I really want to go to Wednesday's press conference. So I just want to ask about the puppet.
Yeah.
We'll address it when it comes up. Was that what he said?
It'll get handled when it gets handled.
It'll get handled.
It'll get handled on the field on Sunday. Like, I'm sure Kermit may be sitting on the bench.
Bigger blowout than Commanders over Carolina this
Hard
weekend?
to tell this weekend because of the injured players. If we were 100% healthy, I would say this is a 40-burger, easy for the Chiefs against the Raiders. But with Hollywood Brown out and Pacheco out and, Rashee Rice out, I mean, that's 3 big offensive weapons that they were counting on. Because I know this was the game that was circled by the organization when the schedule came out. This was the game that everybody was looking forward to. And, okay, we're going to make amends. And, and then they did the Kermit the Frog thing on top of it after last year's Christmas Day game. This was going to be be a blow your jets out type of game. It still may be a blow your jets out type of game, but it's not going to be done with the playmakers that they thought they were going to have at the beginning of the season before anybody got hurt on this team.
And they ruined your damn Christmas last
They
year.
really did. Yep.
Darn it. Fescoe and Dusty brought to you by Rainer Garage Doors of Kansas City. LiftMaster's patented MyQ technology is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Find them at RainerKC.com. Text line's been wishy-washy today over the win. I think I'm going to make a statement on the other side that's going to get a lot of more people against what I have to say, but you might have to start believing it whether you like it or not. Mac Morey, Bob Fescoe, Dusty Likens, you are listening to 96.5 The Fan, and it is your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, on Friday, I went out to the BMA golf tournament, and I saw my friends from Manning Roofing, because that's the type of company they are, always supporting community events and giving back. They've got wonderful people at Manning Roofing. Hung out with some of their employees, my man Jimmy, and some of the other good folks over at Manning Roofing, and they're always in such a great mood. And when people love going to work for a company, you know you're going to get great service. And that's what we experienced a couple of years ago when we needed a new roof. And I called my friend Jimmy over at Manning Roofing and said, hey, we need a new roof. I think we got hit by the storm. They came out. They did an unbelievable job of telling us exactly what we needed. And so we went with Manning Roofing, and we got a perfect roof for our house. These guys are doing great work all over the city. And another reason you want to hire Manning Roofing is because they are a true general contractor. You're not going to have to worry about getting multiple estimates for different things that are damaged on your home. From windows to siding to gutters to roofs, Manning handles it all. It's a true one-stop shop. And with Manning Roofing, they understand insurance, right? They've done thousands of jobs in Kansas City and have never once been rejected by an insurance company. Even if you went with somebody else other than Manning and you're having some issues with insurance, get in touch with Manning today. And you can do that at ManningGC.com. That's ManningGC.com or at 816-448-8208. Manning is my one-stop shop for roofs, gutters, siding, and windows. The choice is simple. It's Manning Roofing.
We interrupt with a special report from the Missouri Lottery. With a new millionaire every 8.1 days last year, there's no shortage of Missouri Lottery winners. However, there is currently a shortage of confetti. This may impact all confetti-related activities, hullabaloos, whoop-de-doos, jamborees, shebangs, and any and all festive goings-ons. Rest assured, Missouri Lottery winners will receive a single confetto with every big win for the time being. We apologize for the shortage, but not the winning. Thus concludes this report from the Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome. Play responsibly.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Enter now at overheaddoorkc.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorkc.com.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget. Not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps, or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Online at GannAsphalt.com. 29 southbound slows at the merge with 35 and then stays heavy down past Armour with earlier problems. 670 eastbound slow into downtown from the state line. Looking to transform your business's property. Noticing crumbling curbs, uneven sidewalks, parking lot potholes, or faded striping. Gann Asphalt and Concrete makes your project a streamlined process with one contractor. All things parking lot. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Online at GannAsphalt.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
What's up? It's Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Monday during the season with C-Dot right here on your home of the Chiefs. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Mike Tomlin with a hell of a quote on Sunday night. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin was asked on if switching to Russell Wilson with a 4-2 record was one of the boldest decisions. He responded with, quote, "That's why I'm well compensated. Thank you." And then left the podium. Just mic drop, see you.
Yeah, that's why they give me a lot of money. I got to make these tough decisions. But it is. I mean, it's a tough decision. You're 4-2. You don't normally change your quarterbacks. But I thought Chris Collinsworth did a really good job last night of kind of painting the picture of what was going through Mike Tomlin and the conversations that they had with him, during the week. And I think that's why it's important. I know, Tom Brady's not going to get the opportunity to do that because he owns the Raiders right now. But, Chris Collinsworth sitting down with Mike Tomlin and Tomlin going, "I don't know what I'm looking for, man. I just wanted to see, what this guy could do and see if he could be somebody that, we could rely on." And they said, if we go back to Justin Fields, then it's done. We're not going back to, to Russell Wilson. But I think they started it because it was more about curiosity. And the first couple of quarters were not good for Russell Wilson. I mean, he was getting booed and all of that kind of stuff. And then, he took over and started throwing some nice balls out there and making some nice plays and doubled up the New York Jets and leaderless, the leaderless New York Jets and quarterbackless New York Jets. And Russell Wilson outplayed Aaron Rodgers last night. And I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Russell Wilson was the better quarterback on the field last night, and Aaron Rodgers was on the other side. And to me, Aaron Rodgers' days are numbered. Aaron Rodgers has played, his last game, in my opinion, of being legit as a quarterback in this league, and it's only going to get worse for Aaron Rodgers. It's only going to get worse for Aaron Rodgers, and his legacy is getting tarnished by the day that he continues to go out there because he looks like a guy who's never seen a football before. He stinks.
Yep. I'll give credit where credit's due. Russell Wilson was good last night.
Really good. Yep.
He did have one horrendous throw that was like...
Yeah, that first throw he threw, and I even tweeted that. Nice throw, Russ.
Just the Butterflies. They win 37-15 last night over the Jets. But I want to bring this up. I think this is the greatest defense in Chiefs history.
Okay.
They have not allowed 30 points. And trust me, I know I wasn't alive when they had that defense, which was Delaney and Buchanan and all those guys.
You got your names wrong, but I get what you're going with right there. That's fine.
Those names aren't right?
No.
Joe Delaney?
Joe Delaney was a running back.
I'm sorry, Buck Buchanan.
Bobby Bell, Willie Lanier.
Lanier's who I was thinking of.
Defensive back, whoever it was back in the day.
Right,
but those are all Hall of Famers.
And then there's the 90s Chiefs, right? DT, Neil Smith, Dan Saliamua was a defensive tackle that a lot of people loved, and they were good. But this defense, it's like the best way to describe it is like everything supports itself.
No doubt.
And with that, it just makes it this conglomerate. Like you look at Leo Chenal was able to cover Kyle Juszczyk yesterday. Did a great job. Sometimes Kyle Juszczyk is that guy when the Chiefs, he was that guy in the Super Bowl. Like he just has those plays on big downs. And Leo Chenal doesn't get a lot of credit for it or doesn't get a lot of talk about it, but was able to stop that. Chris Jones was able to get the pressure in Brock Purdy's face, which made him have nightmares and maybe throw, a couple of errant throws that he shouldn't have thrown. Was George Kittle good? Sure. Tight ends seemed to cook against the Chiefs, and that was one of those things where, yes, Deebo Samuel was not a factor, didn't play really. Brandon Ayuk blew out his ACL.
What do you think happened to Deebo before the game? Like, do you think just the flu or something like that?
They said he was under the weather, and plus he was battling a wrist injury all practice or all week in practice. And George Kittle was their only offensive piece.
Did you said Kittle was good yesterday, right?
Yeah, he was
and
great.
He was 6 for 92, right? And he had that 41-yard reception. But other than that, like, do you really remember much of George Kittle yesterday? I thought he was big in a very quiet way yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he was the only guy doing anything.
Yeah.
But, I thought he had every time they needed a big play, it went to Kittle.
Yeah.
And he had that big play down the sideline, which kind of kept him in the game throughout the game. But the way that this defensive line helps the linebackers, that then helps the secondary and the safeties, everybody just kind of like competes to be what's going to be the unit on this defense this week. That is the reason they win. Chris Jones's pressure allows Nick Bolton to kind of gamble. It allows if they do try to run, the defensive line doesn't get there, Nick Bolton is right there answering the call. Leo Chenal is able to get the outside. Tranquil as well. Trent McDuffie is one of the top 3 best corners, and he's not 3 or 2. I'd stand on that. 1,000%. And your safeties, the way they play, Jaden Hicks comes in a big time, gets interception in the end zone. Justin Reid, big pick early on. Your offense turns the ball over twice. They did score on one of those, but they were able to force turnovers, create havoc, and every single layer of that defense complements each other, right? Like we mentioned the linebackers, Lanier and Bobby Bell and Bobby King, all those guys. And there's a corner, but we don't remember his name. There's, defensive linemen that we don't bring up in that. But in this defense, in this day and age, which is unfair, right? Like if Jack Nicholson could have hit with a metal wood, would he have been better than, would he have been more powerful? I don't know. They didn't have that technology. Yeah, right. But the way football is played in this league and the way that this defense continues to show out 20 points allowed, 25, 17, 10, 13, 18, they're not playing bad offenses. They're not out there playing, an aged Aaron Rodgers or a bad Cleveland Browns team. They'll play a Cleveland Browns team, but it'll be later on in the season. They're beating Kirk Cousins, who's thrown for 500 yards. They're not only that, they're stopping teams' running backs. Like
every one of them is getting stopped,
and
right?
you could say, well, McCaffrey didn't play. Well, Derrick Henry, him or Saquon Barkley are the number 1 or number 2 running backs in the league. They stopped Derrick Henry. J.K. Dobbins, who was having a great year, was irrelevant. Bijan Robinson had a big day yesterday, was irrelevant against the Chiefs. They stop everybody's offense, and it's every player on offense except maybe a tight end. They're the best team best defensive unit this franchise has ever had.
Yeah, and usually I'm the hyperbolic one, but I don't think you're hyperbolic at all in that statement of saying this is the best defense that you've seen with the Kansas City Chiefs, and for a number of reasons. Let's go back to those 60s defenses. Hall of Famers across the board, but it wasn't a full-time job. There weren't a lot of teams in the NFL, AFL at that time. It was a completely different ballgame. Guys weren't working out physically tuned up the way that they are today. It just wasn't that way back then, right? So you look at those defenses, you give them credit, you honor them, you celebrate them. They're Hall of Famers, but the game is completely different from the 60s of where it is now. We're talking 80 years ago. I mean, seriously, like 60 years ago, I guess we're talking now, right? It's a very long time ago the game has evolved. And then you get to those 90s, and you mentioned DT and Neil Smith and maybe Dan Saliamua as a fringe guy, right? You look at this defense compared to that defense, and everybody loves those defenses of the 90s because, again, it was the rebirth of football in Kansas City, and so people are always going to be partial to Derek Thomas and Neil Smith and, those guys. But this defense right now has legitimate stars on every single level of their defense, right? You've got a Hall of Famer in Chris Jones. You've got an All-Pro in Nick Bolton. You've got an All-Pro in Trent McDuffie. You've got a star player in Justin Reid at that safety position. Each level that you go back, you have a superstar type player, and that can't be overstated. And in a league right now that is so skewed to make the offenses succeed, it is much harder to play defense in this league. And so those are the true facts. And I know people will want to debate and argue and fight over, which defenses are better, but I look at it from a different lens. It is harder to win in professional sports today than it was yesterday. It will be harder to win tomorrow in professional sports than it is today. And with the way that guys train now, the way that guys eat, their job is 365 days a year. They don't have an off season where they're working at the lumber yard or, they don't have a defense that's led by just 2 players. This defense right now, in an age where offense is the standard and the league sets rules and changes rules to make the offenses have success, and they call penalties to benefit the offense, for this defense to not give up 20 points since the 15th of September, puts them in that category of the best defense ever. Now, if they fall off, we're having a different conversation. But if this thing continues and they continue to hold teams under 30 points or hell, under 20 points, which they're doing right now, even the biggest, Zubaz wearing, Camaro driving, Busch Light drinking fan from the 90s
Nothing wrong with Busch Light.
is going to look around and say, here's the deal. This is a better defense than what we saw out there with DT. But for a lot of people, it is, for whatever reason, blasphemy to say anything's better than those 90s defenses, when in fact, a lot of the times in the 90s, they simply underachieved as well, much like those teams in the 60s. All those teams in the 60s, they got one Super Bowl championship, and they got 1,000 Hall of Famers on those teams, and they only have that one championship, underachieving. The Marty Schottenheimer years, say what you want, old-timer, and I'm kind of speaking to myself in that age room, that was an underachieving era of Chiefs football. This is a Chiefs football team that is dominating on defense in an offensive era that is not underachieving on the field at all. And so, yeah, you can make that case. And I know people will scream from the rafters that we're idiots by saying that, but I find it much more difficult to win today in the NFL than it's ever been before. And the Chiefs are a marked team. Everybody's coming after them, and they're still punching them in the face.
They ranked 7th in total yards allowed. They rank 4th in rushing yards allowed and 5th in points allowed.
5th in points allowed, yeah.
So, I mean,
7th in total yards allowed with this bottom 10 statistical offense is very impressive.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really, really impressive. You're right, because they're not getting the benefit of the offense going out there and putting 30 up on everybody right
now. The offense turns it over at least once a game. The defense is having to at least have one drive where they're chopping the offense on a short field. Like, impressive stuff.
I mean, the turnovers that they pulled out of their ass yesterday. I mean, that CRW turnover on the far side, or I guess it was the middle sideline, getting both of those feet down like he did and dancing along the sidelines. You're like, who is this gentleman? I've never heard of him before. But hell, what an interception. Looked like a veteran out there. And so, yeah, I mean, you can make the case, I would say at the end of the year, if this continues the way it is, yeah, probably the best defense in Chiefs history. It's just harder to win now in the NFL than ever before.
No doubt. No doubt. And when we look at their offense and everyone says, oh, it's been a terrible offensive year, how about this? 11th in total yards in the league, 12th in passing yards, 10th in rushing yards, 13th in points, and 4th in third down efficiency. It's wild, man. Just like,
that's wild.
You
go through those again?
Okay, they're 11th in total yards.
Yeah.
They average 360 yards of offense. They're 12th in passing yards, 221.5 a game. They're 10th in rushing yards, 128.8 a game. They're 13th in points with 24.3, and they're 4th in third down percentage at 45.3%. I mean, it's just
clean up those turnovers.
Yeah, you could be top 10 in major categories and top 5 in major categories on defense. Take that for your DVOA stats there.
I mean,
That's your talent.
My God. Unbelievable.
There was an interesting moment yesterday in football, which was circled around an injury. The text line has talked about it. Bob and I and Mac were all talking about it yesterday. We give our reaction to what happened in that Cleveland game yesterday here on 96.5 The Fan, which is your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Saw my good friends from Smokehouse Barbecue on Friday as well. They were out at the BMA golf tournament giving back and catering the event. Unbelievable pulled pork sandwich on a brioche bun. It was fantastic with a side of beans and delicious, delicious, delicious. And Smokehouse Barbecue wants you to be delicious on game day as well. You can get their game day special. A pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a slab of baby back ribs, a quart of beans, paperware and serving utensils for $6 for just $79.95. And of course, when you're trying those new wings at Smokehouse Barbecue, make sure you're going in on the Sweet Zing. It is a sweet flavor with a kick. Get those for your game day special. In fact, get like 5 pounds of those wings, and then you can enjoy them all week long, right? 5 pounds of wings probably take you a couple days to eat, so get 5 pounds of those Sweet Zing, get 5 pounds of the Cajun butter, and of course, when you're dining in at one of their 3 locations in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, make sure you get the barbecue pizza or the barbecue nachos with the pulled pork and the crispy meat on top. You can order at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 30 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc., all rights reserved, Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can upgrade your home with up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like Whirlpool. Enhance your kitchen with quality and convenience from Whirlpool, like the freestanding electric range with built-in air fryer and the tall tub dishwasher with third rack, all available at the Home Depot. Right now, shop Labor Day savings up to $1,500 off select appliances at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
What if I told you that there was a single management software that could handle your CRM, accounting, manufacturing, marketing, inventory, sales, and everything in between for a fraction of the cost of the dozens of disconnected platforms most companies rely on to manage their business? Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that's Odoo. Odoo is the end-all be-all for any business of any size, and it's ready to help your company reach the next level and beyond. Learn more at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Using the Labor Day weekend to get some work done? We got you. Stop by any store to save on oil, fuel system cleaner, wipers, and more. Looking for an end of summer wash? We've got deals for that too. Don't want to leave the garage? Get same-day delivery on AutoZone.com. Do Labor Day your way by getting something done at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side heading out of Kearney, 35 southbound slows with an accident before the merge with 69 Highway. You're heavy for about 2 miles with a problem in the right lane. Heading through Blue Springs, 70 westbound, still slow rolling around Woods Chapel with a problem that's now up to the shoulder. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
First and 10 at the Niner, 18-yard line. Here comes the end around on a jet sweep. It goes to Hardman, cuts it back, and deals into the end zone, right to left on the jet sweep. McCole Hardman. In 22, he had 3 touchdowns, and now another touchdown here in 2024 on a right to left jet sweep.
I mean, if I'm a Niners fan, my most hated Chief of all time is McCole Hardman.
Has to be, right?
3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns in a game against him. Walk-off touchdown in the Super Bowl. Call game yesterday.
I know. It's unbelievable how good he is against San Francisco. Speaking of good, Tate Nagy the other night. Did you see him? Matt Nagy's son going to the University of Kansas. Blue Valley West with a big win, 35-34. Here's how it went down the other night at the game. Okay, they're down 6 and they're starting at their own 20-yard line. 1 timeout, 44 seconds left in the game. 45-yard completion. 18-yard completion, 16-yard completion, and then the game-winning touchdown pass was 7 seconds. I sent you guys the video of that touchdown pass. Corner route in the end zone. Like, you think Tate Nagy's channeling number 15? Did you see all the cats at the game, too? Everybody was out there supporting them. That's what this team has that others don't, man. Friday night, where are they all at? They're all at Matt Nagy's kids' game watching them play. Man. And, of course, Dave Merritt's son was on the other team, and so they were kind of battling back and forth. But that's a big-time win, 35-34, down 6, starting at your own 20 with 44 seconds left.
Amazing.
I mean, he wasn't watching Mitchell Trubisky play up in Chicago. He was watching Patrick Mahomes that whole time going on when he was up in Chicago. So 44 seconds left or 13 seconds left. You got Tate under center for Blue Valley West. You got Patrick under center for the Chiefs. Let's go, baby. So hell of a throw by Tate the other night to win that ball game for them. And what a crazy catch as well. So congratulations, Blue Valley West. Olathe East won by like a point, I think, as well. And did you get to any high school games over the weekend?
There was the Cat Clash in Blue Springs.
Oh, I like that.
So
right?
the Jags and Cats played, and Blue Springs lost.
Oh.
It is what it is.
Sorry.
It sucks.
It's okay.
Yeah, if you got any high school shout-outs to give on the text line, throw them at us. We'll shout them out for you. Somebody had a good performance over the weekend. And, you saw Ronnie Bell in the game for San Francisco the other day, right? Like, Ronnie Bell, Kansas City kid, sat in this studio right before the draft time. And so I saw him go in for a touchdown yesterday, obviously ruled and came back. But you got to root a little bit for Ronnie Bell yesterday in that game. So congratulations to him for getting some playing time in San Francisco yesterday, even though they had nobody else to go to. But he got on the field and played and almost had a touchdown against the Chiefs. So shout out Ronnie Bell for a little nice game for him yesterday.
So yesterday, kind of not a polarizing moment in sports, but it was a moment in sports where I think everybody is 1,000% entitled to your own opinion. And what I mean by that is the Deshaun Watson injury, which we don't need to hear the button here. This doesn't call for it. But I thought those were boos and cheers.
So that was. I couldn't find good audio of the cheers for Deshaun Watson, but the whole crowd was happy when he was on the ground there. But that was announcing the players. They announced Deshaun Watson. You hear all the boos.
All the boos.
Right after that, they announced Nick Chubb. You hear the roar as cheers.
Right, absolutely. And it should be. Nick Chubb coming back from injury, scored a touchdown. Feel-good story of the year in the NFL, right? For a lot of people. Good
and
for
that kid for San Fran.
Yeah, how about that yesterday, too? I mean,
Ricky
Pearsall getting shot and coming back and playing yesterday. That's a hell of a story as well.
Pick him up on your fantasy roster, FYI. He's available in every league because
him.
he will start to be a target with those two guys out, Debo and Ayuk, but we'll see.
No doubt.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so Deshaun Watson gets booed to start the game. Then he goes down, blows his Achilles on a non-contact injury, and he got cheered. And it kind of reminded you and I think, both of the Matt Castle situation, know, a number of years ago now in 2012, out at Arrowhead where, Matt Castle got injured and the Arrowhead crowd cheered, and it led to one of the great moments of all time.
We are athletes, okay? We are athletes. We're not gladiators. This isn't the Roman Coliseum. People pay their money, hard-earned money, to come in here, and I believe they can boo, they can cheer, they can do whatever they want, because I believe that, hey, we're lucky to play this game, to come in here, and people, it's hard economic times, and they still pay the money to do this, okay? But when somebody gets hurt, there are long-lasting ramifications to the game we play. Long-lasting ramifications to the game we play. All right? I've already kind of come to the understanding I probably won't live as long because I play this game, and that's okay. That's the choice I've made. That's a choice all of us has made. But when you cheer somebody getting knocked out. I don't care who it is. And it just so happened to be Matt Castle. It's sickening. It's 100% sickening.
So that's Eric Winston talking about the Matt Castle thing. 100% agree. Cheering for Matt Castle was weak. Matt Castle didn't do anything to anybody, right? He was and is a great human being. He just wasn't very good at playing quarterback that year for the Chiefs. And a lot of it was out of his control. Todd Haley and Charlie Weiss and the whole 9 yards. We don't need to go through that again, right? Sure. But people cheered for when Matt Castle went down. So I don't blame Eric Winston for acting like that. Like, somebody goes down, you don't normally cheer for an injury.
Right.
However, I didn't necessarily mind it yesterday because Deshaun Watson has affected and injured and hurt and really done a number on, 22 different women or whatever over the course of his massages that he did that. So I can understand why people were cheering for Deshaun Watson yesterday. Not something I would normally do, but for Deshaun Watson, karma's a B, as they like to say, and it looks like now he may never play for the Cleveland Browns again, and I think they're probably very happy with that. They're probably going to try to get an injury settlement and move on from Deshaun Watson.
I'm a firm believer in your own person. You're your own individual. You can do whatever you feel like you want to do. We're all on the same page that I think Deshaun Watson is a garbage human being for what he has done. The memes were funny when it was like, this is what, people are going to see when they see Watson. And now, like, somebody who abused people that did things for their job now needs those people for his job.
That's exactly right.
It's insanely ironic. My take on this is I would not boo. I would not cheer. I would have zero reaction. I would sit there. I would not say, and I sent you this in a text. It's like, I wouldn't give him any emotion of me. That to me would have been one of those times where I'd have gone and grabbed a beer. I'd have went and got a dog or a pretzel with cheese or nachos. I would have just been like, you guys can boo and look that way and be that person. But my dad raised me right, I think, and two wrongs don't make a right.
But it makes you feel good.
I mean, to me, the guy blew his Achilles, and that's enough karma for me.
Fair enough. That's fair. Yep.
He's already on the verge of being out of the NFL because his play is terrible. We all know what his past is, and I always say, do nice things for people. I sound hypocritical if I'm like, yeah, I'd have been up there cheering, because that's not a nice thing to do.
Right.
A nice thing to do is to just not give it any of your emotion. I don't like what he's done. My sister, who is also a massage therapist, I know that I've had conversations with her how, that could not only makes Deshaun Watson an evil person, but that could ruin those people's lives that had to go through that.
No
right?
question. Those people's how do you trust anybody ever again in those type of situations?
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying that if you boo, it's wrong, or if you cheer, it's wrong. I'm just telling you what I would have done. What he did was disgusting. Who he is as a person is terrible for what he did. But I'm not going to give him my energy, if that makes sense.
Sure. And I don't know, how I would have reacted. I don't know what I would have done, quite honestly. I think when you're in that moment, you react probably different. I probably would have seen him go down, and I like to say, F him good. And I mean, that's kind of, I think, how I would have responded if I was in that crowd. But I don't know how I would have responded if I was in that crowd. Because sometimes you get that mob mentality. Everybody's cheering. You start to cheer. Everybody's booing. And, you kind of start to boo. So for myself, I don't know how I would have reacted in that moment, quite honestly, but I know I felt good when I saw Deshaun Watson get hurt, because I do believe in karma. And when you're not a good person, good things shouldn't happen to you. And I don't believe Deshaun Watson is a good person. And so I've not been wishing for good things to happen to Deshaun Watson. I love the fact that he's gone out there and he's been terrible. And I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that he blew his Achilles out. And maybe that makes me a bad person, but I can't get past the damage that this gentleman caused to at least 22 other individuals by just being a creep.
And I think that's the injury that, and I mean, somebody, somebody brings in, the Lord above, hey, the Cleveland Browns wouldn't bench him. They gave him all that money. This is the Lord's way of saying, you're out. And that's the injury that type of player, missing so much time and that sort of injury, now obviously Kirk Cousins is fine. He looks like he's finally healed from it, but Rodgers has not recovered the right way from it.
Nope. Maybe because he tried to rush back and, lick Toad.
You never know. And that's one of those situations where, you are your own person. You can do whatever you want. But, that's the type of injury where, like, if you've ever thought about when you do something bad, when it comes to get you, that's one of those things. Like, that's an Achilles pop, non-contact. Nobody had to do anything. It just happened.
Right.
And it's like, sorry, Deshaun, but, like, you kind of have to own this because of who you are and what you've done. And, like, the fact that, like, his process, he wasn't really apologetic. It was like, oh, I'm being, this.
Right.
And it's like,
the
no,
whole
man.
thing has been just miserably handled.
Right. No, like, you're the Richard, right? Like, you're that guy. Like, you own this. And you have a catastrophic injury that could definitely end your career. And it's not our fault Cleveland decided to give him money. Like, Cleveland as a franchise should be getting booed for this. Like, they're the ones that ruined it. They gave him $266 million guaranteed, and now they can't get out of it. And now his leg is injured. Both people suffer, and karma sucks, dude.
It does. And I was kind of thinking about it yesterday from a tinfoil hat because over the weekend, while nobody was paying attention on Friday and Saturday, they demoted Jameis Winston to the third-string quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and inserted – who was it that played Soleil Moonfry or something was playing quarterback for them yesterday?
He's got like a 3 name.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
That's it. Yeah.
DTR.
So that guy all of a sudden is playing quarterback yesterday.
Because Winston wasn't active.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. He was demoted again like Friday or Saturday.
He will be starting Sunday.
You would hope.
Which I'm happy because we finally get our wish.
We do, but it's weird that he was demoted, that all of a sudden Deshaun Watson had this injury. I live in a world where that guy that runs the Cleveland Browns, man, go do your research on him. I'm thinking this was was this a dive by Deshaun Watson so they could get an injury settlement and move on and not have to play Jameis Winston? And everybody go, see?
Go rupture your Achilles and let me know if you're willing to do that.
Did he really rupture?
Did you see the slow motion?
I did not, no.
You want to see it during the break?
No.
It pops in his calf jiggles.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So
he really did.
Dude,
Okay, so he
blew
did.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
Okay, because immediately I thought this is
it's your classic. Like he plants and then you see the like ripple effect.
Okay,
and then he falls.
Okay. Stop. No.
I can watch that stuff though, man.
No. So I originally was like, okay, is this one of those?
No, dude.
You're going to go out here and you're going to fake an injury. We're going to get an injury settlement, and we're all going to move on with our lives. You don't want to be here. I don't want you here. Yeah. Okay, so he really did blow it.
No,
okay.
it popped.
It did.
Yeah,
okay.
dude.
It really did pop because I could definitely see them saying, "You go fake an injury, my friend. We're going to give you the injury settlement. No harm, no foul. We'll all be about our day."
Yeah, the 2 slow motion videos I watched the most yesterday was that for some reason, just to like see like if it really was that. So I probably watched it 3 times, and then the Mahomes truck stick.
No, the Mahomes. Yeah,
I watched that in slow motion. I was like, dear.
You didn't watch the Ayuk injury?
No, because I knew what that was. That was he pointed to it. He's like, it's over.
He grabbed his knee and he was done.
And then you played Eric Winston's.
Yeah.
And then this is another Winston, Jameis Winston after the game, and this was his explanation on Deshaun Watson.
The way I was raised, I was taught to love no matter the circumstances, especially for people who do right by you. I'm grateful that I had a chance to serve Deshaun. But I am very upset with the reaction to a man that has had the world against him for the past 4 years, and he put his body and life on the line for this city every single day, regardless of your perception, regardless of what you thought should happen with him. He committed every single day that I've been here to be the best that he can be for this team. And I know I come from the deep south, Birmingham, Alabama, Bushman, Alabama. So I know the standard that hungry fans want. But the way I was raised, I will never pull on a man when he's down.
I got to ask a real question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Jameis Winston know what Deshaun Watson did?
Yeah.
Are we sure? Because a lot of these guys don't pay attention to what goes on off the field. And they're
you're
teammates.
Asking, oh, wow. Oh,
You know,
yeah,
they're their teammates. They're my guys. They're like when guys go in that locker room, they don't think about the things we think they think about. They don't care about political affiliation, religious affiliation, race, creed, color, none of that. They're all just in a locker room together for one common goal, and that's to win football games or baseball games or basketball games, right? So I've been in a lot of locker rooms, my man. I'm telling you, they don't care about
even
this
with stuff
kind of
like
stuff.
this. If you're harming women,
Did you not hear? Did you not hear that guy right there?
I think he sounds like an idiot.
Right. That's why I'm wondering. Does he know?
No, I think he's just being an idiot.
Does he know what Deshaun Watson did? Because if you know what Deshaun Watson did, you don't get up there and say stuff like he said there where I've served him and he's done nothing but give his all. No, this guy's got a rap sheet that's as long as the day is and was a creep, a horrible human person that ruined the lives of other human beings and women because he is a creep scumbag. And to hear Jameis Winston say that, I wonder, does Jameis Winston know what this guy did off the field? You can't sit there and say you're serving this guy and he's such a great guy and he's given his all. Man, his reputation precedes him in this.
It was not the best interview. You have to know what you're going to get with Jameis Winston, which is you never know what you're going to get with Jameis Winston. And I think that he's trying to hard at that moment to be a good teammate and a good person. Poor choice of words, obviously, but to say that he doesn't know, yeah, I mean, in the audio, he's got the world against him, like he knows what he's done, like all that. So
for a reason,
and he knows what he's done, but it's just that's one of those situations, and it's look, man, I look at what you're supposed to do in a situation, and I don't know. Like you said, you've been in locker rooms. I've been in locker rooms. Mac's been in locker rooms. Like, it's a different time when all those cameras and microphones come in and just go, all right, what'd you think about the situation? The fans booing the athlete. Teammate kicks in, and then afterwards, you go back and watch. But again,
I don't think they were booing because he got hurt. I think they were booing because he's a horse's ass creeper combined with not a very good player.
Well, it's more so cheering is what they were.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, cheering or whatever.
Which means they were cheering because he was hurt because he is the person that you described.
Correct. Yeah, his if that's again, Matt Castle. I still why we cheered. I don't know. He's a good human being. Deshaun Watson, I think a lot of those cheers were A, he's a horrible person, and B, he wasn't playing very good. But if he'd just been a bad player, I don't think you would have gotten the cheers like you did for Deshaun. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but that's kind of the way that I look at it. I think a lot of it was cheers because of him being just a scumbag, plus not playing good.
Yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, I would give zero reaction. I would have nothing to really show. I don't think that he deserves, also, if I was a Browns fan, I probably would have disowned my fandom. I'm dead serious. If you give that kind of guy money, I'd have been like, dude, as long as this guy's on the roster, I will not root for this team. And that's, as if we're going to call the pot, if the kettle's going to call the pot black, right? Mm-hmm. Fans are going to boo Deshaun Watson and cheer him when he's hurt. But yet they're going to back the franchise that paid that creep to play quarterback.
Right.
So
yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's almost talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's you're still giving a franchise money that gave a guy money that you're cheering who's hurt because he screwed up so many women's lives because he's a POS.
Right.
So it's where do you draw the line?
I don't know. What would you do? Honestly,
I would not root for that.
What if the Chiefs signed him? What if we were in a different situation and Patrick Mahomes didn't exist and they signed or made that trade for Deshaun Watson? Are you not a Chiefs fan anymore?
Not if he's on the active roster.
Okay, that's fair.
Because that's fair. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at night knowing that I'm cheering for that guy who sexually molested women in that field that my actual sister does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I know my sister wouldn't. I know my dad wouldn't support it. And maybe I'm, okay, Dusty, you're a snowflake. Fine. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I don't support rapists.
Yeah, I don't either. No, I'm with you. I think it's an easy question to have when it's not your team. And then it becomes your team. And then you're like, what do I do? What do I do with this team that I've rooted for my whole life, but they signed this guy who's the biggest piece of garbage that this league has ever seen, right? And brought him in here. And now I'm supposed to cheer this guy who was ruining the lives of 20 plus women who were.
And his story is different because he wasn't apologetic. He was like, I'm innocent. He was like, there's 20 plus cases saying you're not.
Exactly.
Right? Because people will say, oh, well, you guys gave Kareem Hunt another chance. Kareem Hunt found out what he was, and he went through a bunch of stuff, and it was one situation, right? That we know of.
And nobody's absolving Kareem Hunt, but the way that he handled the aftermath of this and the way he went about his apology tour, if you will, was a lot different than Jameis Winston, or not Jameis Winston, but Deshaun Watson, who acted like he did nothing wrong when he did a lot wrong.
Right. And people bring up Tyreek Hill's name. How much do you cheer for him? I don't get goofy at that. I get goofy in the moment of the game, but I was never one of those guys in the crowd that was chanting Tyreek.
No, God, no.
I was never that guy.
No. I had a hard time clapping when he scored touchdowns. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it was nice hearing them. I mean, I'm not booing a guy when he's injured. And, I'm just saying, like, the guy was forceful towards women, so.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just an interesting study of human behavior, because I don't think you can answer the question until you're in that situation, whether you root for your team anymore or how you reacted when Deshaun Watson went down. And if you were at Arrowhead that day, what did you do? I was at Arrowhead that day. I was in the press box working and whatnot, so there was no emotion being shown up there. But if you were in the crowd that day and cheered Matt Castle, why?
Yeah. I don't know.
I understand the Deshaun. I do, because the guy's a POS. Matt Castle's a great human being.
Yeah, somebody said they met him at a celebrity golf tournament. He was awesome.
Who's that, Castle?
Yeah.
Fantastic guy.
At least that's
love him. Yeah.
That was like a text last week or something like that, or maybe it was today. I don't remember. But either way, Josh Briscoe coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, coming up on the other side. Still got a lot to get to. Local schools played this weekend. KU finally got a win.
They did?
I believe so. Oh. Beat Houston. And Brady Cook, he kind of played a little bit of getting himself out of the doghouse. I'll explain on the other side. Here on Fescoe and Dusty, you're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens once again to remind you of my good friends at Heartland Men's Health. Guys, if you're insecure or you're not sure where to start or how to talk about something, let me help you. If it's weight loss, I know I've had my issues with it. I finally talked to somebody about it. The guys at Heartland Men's Health, they kind of worked me through it. Erectile dysfunction, low T. If those are things that you suffer from, feel free to reach out to my people at Heartland Men's Health. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas; Independence, Missouri, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit; and their new office in North Kansas City. They have an expert staff, and you will see the results quickly. Schedule and consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99, and it includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. So, fellas, that insecurity, that not knowing where to go or who to talk to, this is where you need to go. It is Heartland Men's Health. You can call them today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Every 4 years, the world watches every corner kick, every save, every pass. The world watches its most beautiful game played at its highest level. And for a moment, the world stops turning for soccer. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026, helping to bring the game's biggest tournament to Kansas City. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC homebuyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. and I look forward to working with you.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve? Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine? Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Well, I do now. Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Yeah, you just said that. Did you say I just said that? Yeah, I'm cutting you off. Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like Best House on the Block trick-or-treat candy starting at $5.99.
Sweet. Don't forget, can't wait to wear it costumes from $15.
Can't wait to see it. Oh, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5.
That's how I got my big toothy grin.
This week only, trick-or-treat candy starts at $5.99, costumes from $15, and decorating and pumpkin carving kits for $5. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This report is brought to you by Flying H Drag Strip. Drag racing is back in Kansas City. FlyingHDragStrip.com. Kansas City Drag Racing is back. Join us for Hooktober at Flying H Drag Strip, October 25th and 26th, featuring pro mod cars, top dragsters, and quarter-mile drag racing. Plus, Night of Heroes, free entry for veterans with military ID. Get tickets now at FlyingHDragStrip.com. A real horsepower hangout.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side heading out of Kearney 35 southbound. You're hitting slowdowns for about 2 miles before the merge with 69 highway. Earlier accident there, now off to the right shoulder. 29 southbound slows around Front Street, stay sluggish into the downtown loop. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Back at it, you said earlier, man, it's only 7 o'clock. Well, it's already almost 9 o'clock. So once the sun comes
Once
up,
the sun comes up, man.
Bob's up.
Different mood.
That's right. I go to Legacy today and get a jog in. It's a long weekend.
A jog? I didn't jog this weekend. I haven't jogged since Wednesday.
Yeah, we got after it at a Halloween party on Saturday. Sunday, Dad's birthday, car battery died. I'm glad it happened on Sunday morning and not at 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, God,
coming to work.
yeah.
It looked like the car was going to die in Mizzou. Brady Cook went to the hospital during the game for an MRI, returned to Faroe Field, and won it for the Tigers versus Auburn.
How about that?
Quote, I've only got 2.5 games left at Faroe Field. I'm not missing this one in the hospital.
That's right.
Goes down, like in the first drive? And here comes Auburn in Mizzou. And Missouri ends up winning the game against Auburn, and now they get to go to Tuscaloosa this weekend and play Alabama.
Alabama licking their wounds down there right about now, right? Yeah,
They're
they're licking
over
their
those
wounds.
balls, baby.
Oh, my goodness. But we were watching the game the other night. My daughter comes out, right? She's 8th grade. And she goes, oh, you're watching Tennessee, Alabama. I said, yeah. She goes, did they do the entrance yet for Tennessee? And then starts singing Rocky Top.
What? There you go.
Let's go.
I love it.
She's a Mac fan.
That's I guess the TikTok generation, right? Like,
Yeah.
and she didn't care about the game. Like, didn't really care about that. Did they do the intro? I'm like, it's halftime. Yeah, they must have done it before. And she was showing me the intro and all that kind of stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, really cool. Like,
that is cool.
You know, that's how you get the kiddos involved on the TikToks and whatnot. But hey, man, give the kid credit for coming back from the hospital and finding a way to win a game against an Auburn team that you never should have been in a ball game with, right?
No doubt. And obviously they play in Alabama this weekend. Big game for the Missouri Tigers.
No doubt there.
Going on the road, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. I mean, I don't know. 2 losses, you think they'd still get? Probably not.
I don't know. What
There's
do you
a
think of
chance for
college
sure.
football this year? I think there's plenty of teams available. Like, if you start looking at who are the 12 best teams in college football, you start with my Ohio State Buckeyes, and then it's everybody else. No, you've got Ohio State, Oregon, probably in there. You probably have Georgia, Texas. Well, here's my take to Texas and Oklahoma fans over the weekend. The SEC ain't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
The SEC ain't for everybody. Texas, Oklahoma. How's that tasting right about now? People with the memes over the weekend of Texas and Oklahoma calling the Big 12 offices.
Did you see that kid with a gigantic head?
Quinn Ewers?
No, it was like a fan in the crowd for Texas.
Oh, yeah, with oh my
he had like a
gosh,
huge
yes.
fluff
I didn't
hairstyle.
know. Oh, you got to show it to me.
I will.
All
I
right.
mean, this guy.
It looks like he's wearing a Guardian cap. It's
That's what they said.
really?
Yeah.
it's
So who's coming out of the Big 12 in this college football playoff
Colorado.
right now?
Hey, he's mad that we're laughing.
who's 5-2?
Hey, there's
it's 5-2. Like in a 12-team playoff, maybe. But like,
Maybe.
who's coming out of the Big 12 right now?
Yeah, K-State,
BYU.
Iowa
K-State. I mean, I don't know. You know,
BYU had a heroic win on Friday night.
Yeah, Iowa State had a heroic win against a no-one team
Iowa
this
State
weekend.
is still a pretty good team as well. They got a good quarterback, Rocco Beck. That's Anthony Beck's kid, former Chief.
Dude, get a look at
tight
this guy's
end.
bucket.
Yeah, you seeing this hair?
Dude, that's real. That's a real photo.
Yeah, maybe you can show the camera too if they
Oh,
want.
that totally looks like a kid whose dad made a lot of money working in Austin that sent his kid to UT. That kid is wearing salmon slacks with no socks and loafers
This is
with
our
pennies in
guy
them,
here.
right? Yeah.
Is that on the camera again?
That's
that's
good, man. We had soccer on Saturday.
That guy owns a
night,
blow
so-
dryer.
Yeah, I missed most of that game. He definitely does. Yeah,
And that's fine.
But honestly, who's making this college football playoff right now? Who do you have on that list? Is Notre Dame on that list?
Right now they're 12. They're 6-1. I think they're probably
They're probably on that list. So Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
They play Navy this week. A good Navy team this weekend.
Navy and Army are really good this year. Both of them are
And they'll
really
play both?
good, and they'll play both of them. You've got Texas probably on that list. Georgia's on that list. I'm sure
Tennessee.
Alabama will pick it and complain that they're not in and whatnot, and they'll find a way in. Miami, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Miami for sure.
Miami. So I think it's wide open. So a 2-loss team, like if you're a 2-loss team in the SEC, to get back to where Dusty was going with this, if you lose 2 games and you're 11-2 or whatever it is, how do you not get in if you're playing in the SEC?
I agree. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some that miss. Like Ole Miss has 2 losses, and they're 17th in the country. They're going to have to fight back.
They're going to have to fight back. Yeah,
to win out and still maybe not have a shot.
Colorado plays Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State.
It's a hell of a run right there. If Colorado can run the table, you're talking about them in the playoff, though. You really are.
I mean, they got 2 tests right out of the chute. I mean, Cincinnati's 5-2. That's at Colorado, so that's a 9:15 game on Saturday
Oh, my
night.
God.
Right?
9:15 our time or their time?
No, our time.
Okay.
Be like 8:15, I think. They're 7:15
God.
Mountain Time. Texas Tech the following week at Texas Tech. Home against Utah. At Arrowhead versus Kansas on November 23rd. And then they finish the season home against Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State has fallen off big time.
Yep.
They've had a really bad year. Ever since he started doing his coach's show at the Senior Citizens Home, that program has fallen off.
Colorado was also 2.5-point underdogs at Arizona, won 34-7, gave up a touchdown early on in the game, never let him score again. 34-7.
Wow.
Hey, Don.
I get it. It's just K-State's 6-1. They're out of the playoffs right now, too. K-State's better than Colorado from a standings perspective. I'll add.
Somebody says, can you guys give a quick college football playoffs for dummies expansion? No, there's 12 teams.
There's 12 teams. That's about it. Yeah.
And where you thought it would get easier to make it, it actually makes it harder.
It makes it harder.
I don't know if that makes sense.
But I don't know that we're going to be talking about the 13th and 14th team being left out right now. Like, I'm having a tough time filling 12 teams right now, right? Where you, like, if you can, struggle, you get the first 6, you're like, all right, who else should potentially be in? I don't think we're going to be complaining that 13 and 14 get left out like we do in the NCAA tournament with 69 and 70, being left out and everybody wants to complain. You weren't going to win anyway. Move on with your lives. I don't think 13 and 14 is going to be a big argument here if somebody does get left out of this playoff.
From the 479, Dustin Wells, Austin's brother today. What's up with the face piece? I was Doug from Liberty Mutual,
right.
And the girl I went to this party with, she was Flo. So that's why there's this caterpillar.
Did we hear that, or did you come to that conclusion yourself on the text line? Because we've been calling him Austin Wells' brother all morning long, and if you came to that conclusion by yourself, I love you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Take the day off.
Yeah.
Because he does. He looks like Austin Wells, which is good.
Not mad about it. I used to look like Jonah Hill. Not a good look for me. Tonight's guests on your Manning cast, for those of you that want to watch, which I think this is like the kind of night where it merits it. Like,
probably so.
Right?
Yeah, 2 games.
Bill Belichick, obviously. Joe Flacco, Ed Reed, and Scott Hansen.
Oh, nice.
Whoa. Yeah, so kind of a loaded slate with a double barrel action tonight. I believe. What is it? It's Chargers in Arizona.
Is that first?
That's the late game,
That's
right?
the late game. And then Baltimore and
Tampa.
That game's good. I'm excited for that.
That game's the early game.
Yeah, I'm doing
the normal time game.
Getting the Blackstone out tonight.
Oh, I did that yesterday.
Combination or chicken fried rice tonight.
Is that what you did?
I was supposed to do it yesterday, but the battery died, so we had to call an audible and order pizza.
That's all right.
Which is never a bad audible.
Well, I did steak and scallops
on the stone?
and chicken. Yeah, all of it on the Blackstone. Have you done scallops on the Blackstone yet?
No, I don't make that kind of money.
Scallops?
Yeah.
Go buy yourself a big bag of them, frozen. Don't buy the fresh ones. It's cheaper when you buy frozen.
I thought they were really, yeah.
Throw them on there for like 3 minutes. You're good to go.
I love scallops.
Yeah, and today you're going to save money at Hy-Vee on your gas points. 28 points for the Chiefs yesterday. Spend $28, get 28 cents off per gallon. Boom,
Nice.
done.
Yeah. No.
Scallop it up.
Mm-hmm. Somebody says, did Flo and Doug file a claim together? Wink, wink. Come on now.
Oh, wow, that's a good question.
That's good.
Come on now. Golly. Coming up on the other side, let's get serious. Our guy, Josh Briscoe, our Chiefs contributor, will join us here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it is Week 7 coming to an exciting conclusion tonight, and FanDuel's going to get you even more excited about the final 2 games of the weekend. Enjoy all of the NFL action with a chance to win on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win a bet on this week's games. And there's so many ways to do it, whether you want to take place in their parlay hub, how about some of the popular bets that they have on the home screen, and even on Thursday, those FanDuel squares are so much fun. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Something big is happening at Hy-Vee. We just lowered thousands and thousands of prices on thousands and thousands of items in every aisle and in every department. Online, too. And on many of your favorite products, we've even matched prices with some of the biggest discount stores in the country. Because we get it, times are still tough. So we'll continue to work hard to bring you new lower prices on thousands of items. Things are looking different at Hy-Vee. Come see for yourself.
Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. This year, I get to host, and Hy-Vee's going to make it convenient for me. They have made fresh, ready to heat and serve favorites like succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham, prime rib, savory side dishes, and dessert. Hy-Vee's Taste of the Holidays event is coming up Saturday, November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can sample all of the amazing ready-to-serve meal pack options or just get a little holiday inspiration. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take the credit, only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig internet right here in Kansas City, it cost $70. Cut to today. Over 10 years later, 1 gig internet still costs the same, $70. That's what you get with Google Fiber. Fast, reliable internet with simple, straightforward monthly billing. No data caps, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Just a small local fee for the city on top of your flat, predictable price. Go beyond good enough. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at fiber.google.com.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest, we believe.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side 35 southbound still slow approaching the merge to 69 highway, but most of those long delays have unwound. Just a brief slowdown in the immediate area with the accident now off to the shoulder. 29 southbound sluggish into downtown from 16th Avenue. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Couple interesting things from the internet over the weekend. You guys know how they've been showing how you can like go into the crowds of games and you can like see actual like people.
Oh, with the AI now you can identify people.
Where you were, you can type in like a section and seat number. It'll show you exact like moment of the game.
Can you and I do that, or is that just done by the stadium people?
I don't know, but according to this tweet, it comes from Barstool Longhorns, so the college. Students are getting this text. We have identified that you were throwing items onto the Texas Longhorns field from the student section. As a result, your big ticket has been revoked for the 2024-2025 academic calendar. If you have any questions, please contact Texas Athletics. Thank you.
Good.
Whoa.
Good. Because they got fined big amounts of money throwing those bottles of water on the field.
Someone's watching.
That's exactly right.
Like you can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as our show is live on the cameras. And then speaking of live on the camera, Bob, I don't know how to make your day any better. Aaron Rodgers was seen on the bench, allegedly, picking and eating his nose boogers.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
He likes, that's nerves.
That's awesome right there. Eating your boogers on the sidelines as a grown adult.
Chiefs win.
Look, it's one thing to pick your nose. We've all done it, right? But here's the thing. You're a grown adult. Like, you should stop eating your boogers at 5.
I don't think I ever ate them.
I never did either. My friend Charlie used to pick his nose and wipe them all over his walls.
Ew. Does he work here? Was he in the bathroom?
No, he's not. No.
No kidding.
No. I mean, Aaron Rodgers eating his boogers on TMZ is fantastic. I love it. Like, just when you think it couldn't get any worse for Aaron Rodgers, now he's picking his nose and eating it.
Ugh. Is that the worst thing to eat? So that's brutal.
Is that the worst thing in the world to eat? No.
No, but
no. I mean, there's other things that I could think of bodily wise that would not be good. But boogers as an adult are pretty pathetic. You don't go eat your own boogers.
Anyways. Coming up tonight, in case you need, or tomorrow, 7 to 9, the first Josh Briscoe show here on 96.5 The Fan. He is our Chiefs contributor from SI.com. Mr. Briscoe, I hate to admit it, I was wrong. I thought Connor was going to get a sack.
Yeah, listen, I mean, we all make mistakes,
That's
like
right.
the fact that my show does begin tonight.
Yeah,
Tonight.
They wrote in the thing it's tomorrow. I knew it was tonight, Josh. I'm sorry.
See, that's what happens when you copy and paste, I would imagine, right, Mac?
Yeah, I mean, look, that happens.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm not myself yet. I've only had half of my bowl of boogers and milk to get my day going, so I'm not completely in game mode yet either.
Rodgers is no milk. He's just raw.
Yeah, he's just dry.
I missed that somehow last night, and I just think I skipped the booger eating stage of my childhood.
Same.
Maybe I'll get to it in my 30s. Maybe that's when you really, or maybe Rodgers is 40. Maybe I don't know. Fescoe, was there an age when your boogers were most ripe for the biting?
About 40. About 40, they start to get crustier, and dried up, and no,
They age like fine wine.
Yeah.
Speaking of eating them dry, Briscoe, what is the best cereal to eat dry?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, knee-jerk reaction right there. No further thought. That's where I immediately went.
See, I would go with Honey Nut Cheerios.
Also a good, well, hold on. Now you are talking like a toddler again.
Yes, exactly. But so is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think that's like a 13-year-old cereal. I'm like I've got the cereal palette of, I mean, listen, again, I had to grow up out of a little bit of that because diabetes is mostly about carbs and sugar, and cereal is two of my favorite things, carbs and sugar. So,
right, yes.
I still prioritize my Cinnamon Toast Crunch experience. It's just on more of a rare occasion, much like the way that Aaron Rodgers apparently treats his boogers.
Yeah. God.
Speaking of two of your favorite things, what were the two of your favorite things in this game over the Niners this weekend as the Chiefs win 28-18?
The Mahomes run and having two really like kind of iconic looking Mahomes runs was a blast, and obviously his stat line could not tell less of his story in this game. But we always talk about needing to talk about the defense more, and then I never do because I'm always worried about the receivers or the running back rotation or the offensive line. I'm going to the defense again, guys. This was actually the most successful that an opposing starting running back had been against the Chiefs so far this year, with Mason putting up a massive 58 yards on the ground.
That's right.
It is a dominant defensive unit. My least favorite thing is that we don't know the status of Jalen Watson. That's a really big deal. But if I was going to come tell you that I didn't think Steve Spagnuolo and Dave Merritt could get at least solid cornerback play out of the rest of this crew, I'd be a fool because they've been doing much more than that the entire time they've been here. So I have to give it to the defense that honestly didn't really feel the loss of Mike Dana. The linebackers all had a good day from my first viewing. The secondary is elite at this point, I think. The unit as a whole is just an absolute delight to watch against a Niners team that certainly has a rash of injuries of its own. But these two teams, neither one of them can really claim that they've been bit by the injury bug more than the other. Neither team had really any professional wide receivers by the end of that game. It is an amazing feat, though, that this Niners offense looked as weak as it did.
Well, and give credit to the Chiefs defense for that as well, too.
Yes.
I mean, you get after it, and everybody wants to go, oh, Brock Purdy stunk. Yeah, he stunk because, he had guys in his face the entire time. But I don't know about you. I'm watching the game yesterday. I'm like, this is why you don't pay Brock Purdy. He needs his weapons to be good, unlike Mahomes, who's good despite of his weapons.
Yeah, and I think that's got to be like the biggest question for the rest of this 49ers season, because for whatever it's worth, I don't know if I'm comfortable evaluating Purdy against Steve Spagnuolo because it seems like a settled law at this point. Spags has had so much success against Shanahan and the Shanahan-like offenses. When they get condensed, Spags can send guys from anywhere, and frankly, like I haven't seen the blitz rates yet from yesterday, but it wasn't like Spags was getting super, super exotic with the pressures. I think he was getting exotic with what was happening happening in the middle and back third of the field, and then that's where Purdy got kind of put in a little bit of a scrambler there. Brady talked about it quite a bit on the broadcast, which I thought was interesting, while he could not stop raving about Patrick Mahomes, which I did find kind of delightful yesterday. I enjoyed Brady on the broadcast, which I wasn't completely expecting to do either, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, enjoy. I don't know. I thought he was very mid, average. You know, nothing jumping out. And again, you probably can't because you're an owner of a team now. How many different pronunciations did he have for Steve Spagnuolo, though, in that game yesterday? Because at one time I was up to 4 different ways that he pronounced Spagnuolo's name yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of steel Magspolias and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean that I don't know why that is such a challenge for so many. Maybe for Brady, it's his subtle disrespect. You know,
it is.
Years of holding a grudge. I'll say I enjoyed when Brady was talking about the quarterbacks and the quarterback position. But I would like to see him be able to branch out and do more as he goes on. But yeah, I think even as Purdy had really played some pretty good football this year, I think he'd had a better start to his year than most people were even giving him credit for last season. But the Niners results flip, and so he gets a lot more criticism. Yesterday, again, Spags just had him in a blender.
I think the most impressive part about yesterday was that there was 1 sack, and I think that is the definition game of that pressure kind of takes away from, like, a lot of people don't realize it. Like, I was, driving home from my parents' house on Sunday evening, and I was like, I predicted there'd be, 2.5 sacks. Chris Jones would have 1.5 of them. Karlaftis got the only one, but my God, sometimes pressures just go unspoken, and I think that there's maybe a little bit of bias there, but the way they pressured Brock Purdy just made him the quarterback that I think a lot of people think that he actually is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a huge test for any quarterback. I mean, there have been a lot of very, very good quarterbacks in NFL history who become below average quarterbacks when they're pressured. And obviously, like, that's the most understandable thing in the world, is that an incredibly difficult position becomes almost impossible when you're under pressure. But that's what separates Mahomes or prime Aaron Rodgers. And in some ways, Brady could just sort of precede the pressure. The ball was gone before he actually felt it. Being able to overcome that, I think, is sort of the cutoff for where an elite quarterback can really be, as opposed to a quarterback who looks great in ideal circumstances, be it the weapons, the protection, not being under pressure, and all of that. I think that's absolutely all connected. And for as much as the A word of analytics has been warped and sides have been chosen over the years and all of that, things like pressure rate and double team rate, the things that really explain how excellent Chris Jones has been, I think is some of the most important stuff in understanding the sport now. Because you're right, and frankly, I hadn't even looked at the box score again this morning. I didn't even think about 1 sack for a loss of 3, because he was under duress all day, and those 3 interceptions, there was at least one kind of miscommunication with Bell, it looked like, but that pressure turned into turnovers. It turned into very short drives. They said early in the broadcast the Niners had 5 3-and-outs entering this game through their first 6 weeks. And then the Chiefs defense, until that final drive of the first half, was absolutely stifling. Again, through and through, the different ways that this defense was able to put up that performance yesterday, I just think was just stupendous.
Where's this team without Kareem Hunt on it right now? Seems like the red zone issues have been solved by Mr. 29.
Yeah, I think we'd be seeing the Carson Steele experiment continue on. Obviously, Clyde was a healthy scratch yesterday. We could have seen him back. Nothing has surprised me more this season than how good Kareem Hunt looked on his return. He's 29 years old, and look, I've seen some people even say he doesn't have the burst that he's had. I don't even think that's the right word. He doesn't have his younger self's breakaway, straightaway speed. I'm not expecting him to house one for, from 60 yards out at any point this season. But his remarkable consistency, that the fact that Brady may have even said this, I don't know if I'm attributing him correctly, but the ball going to Kareem Hunt means the Chiefs are moving forward, and that is. It's so hard to have an automatic 3, 4, 5 free yards in the NFL, and running with the interior. Even Wanya Morris often plays to his strengths, running behind him. Jawan Taylor, no slouch there. This offensive line being able to move guys, and Kareem Hunt being able to hit the hole and lean forward is such a good easy button for this offense. Because that's what they are completely lacking now. Again, I like Xavier Worthy in the long haul, and Noah Gray having a big day is great, and Travis Kelce's probably getting 90% of the eyeballs in that defense. Being able to just give it to your running back and know that you're going to have, by and large, a successful play, even as he ends that day with 3.5 yards on average, that is an easy button this offense has nowhere else. Everything through the air is difficult. Kareem Hunt has something easy for the offense to do, and it's unbelievably useful for keeping this unit on time.
Tonight, the Josh Briscoe Show starts at 7 p.m. It goes till 9 p.m. Do you want to tease anything about what you got coming up tonight?
We'll talk to Matt Verderam at 8. He'll be the inaugural guest, and the rest of that show is going to be me figuring out if I still know how to talk on the radio by myself for a little while. I am relatively optimistic, but look, if it's a train wreck or a good time, either way, you shouldn't look away.
There you go. We'll hear you tonight here on 96.5 The Fan. Thank you again. We'll talk to you next Monday, Josh.
Appreciate you, fellas. Keep your boogers in your nose.
That's exactly right, and out of your mouth.
Only in a Kleenex. Only in a Kleenex. You know how to make a Kleenex dance?
Put a little boogie in
there. You go. Coming up on the other side.
And you're not a dad.
Nope. Let's talk about Tom Brady, because I have probably a different opinion than Bob, and Bob probably has a different opinion than Mac, and Mac probably has a different opinion than both of us. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, everybody, it's Dusty Likens of 96.5 The Fan, and I want to remind you, ladies, that's right, ladies, and gentlemen, guys, it's that time of the season. Ladies, too. It's holiday season, gift-giving season. You want to find that one that really rocks the boat. Go to Diamonds Direct. Go there, see my friends Angie and David, and they will talk to you about everything you have questions for, whether you want to get your man a watch, whether you want to get your lady a ring, whether you're ready to make that big step, fellas, and do a proposal. Go in there, pop in, say hi to Angie and David. They will help you plan that big proposal this holiday, or if you're looking to treat yourself or someone special to the perfect gift, drop by Diamonds Direct in Leawood. That's right, in Leawood. Tell them I sent you and get ready to experience jewelry shopping done right. For the best quality, price, and shopping experience, there is no better choice than Diamonds Direct. In Leawood, Kansas, go see my friends Angie and David and tell them Dusty Likens from 96.5 The Fan said hi and sent you in.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Neighbors getting new roofs due to hail damage this year? Then you're a likely candidate for a new roof, too. Century Roofing, voted best roofing company in Johnson County 3 years straight, is giving back this holiday season. For all roof repair and replacement contracts signed before the end of the year, Century Roofing will donate a portion of proceeds to benefit Operation Breakthrough, which helps KC kids in need. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for an inspection today. That's CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
When it comes to car buying, you deserve options. So at Volkswagen Lease Summit, we have 3 incredible promotions to pick from. Choose no payments for 90 days, 0% APR for up to 60 months, or we'll double your down up to $3,000. Pick out your car, then pick your promo at VWLeaseSummit.com.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
In business, success is never by chance. You know that better than anyone. So why settle for a marketing agency that gambles with your money? At Scale Marketing, we've been in your shoes. Our founders successfully owned and operated businesses long before becoming marketers. They understand the business of, well, business. We specialize in performance marketing for mid-sized B2C companies with teams of over 100 people. From traditional and digital marketing to media buying, data science, and creative production, Scale Marketing manages it all. Our tailored strategies drive measurable growth, turning your challenges into opportunities. Imagine your company leading the market, not just participating in it. That's what we do at Scale Marketing. Don't let your business growth plateau or underperform. Scale Marketing will pinpoint exactly what you need to focus on, ensuring your success isn't left to chance. Take your business to the next level with Scale Marketing. Visit scalemarketing.com today. That's scalemarketing.com.
Today, expect sunny skies with a high of 79.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Back in on 96.5 The Fan. Monday's almost in the books. Taco Tuesday, Basement Tuesday for Bob Fescoe. Tomorrow. You got to go to Albalerto's, I think is how you say it. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Dude, hash brown breakfast burrito or the 5 for $5.99 taco deal on Tuesday night. Solid. Go to Hy-Vee today. Save you some gas.
28 cents, man. Go spend $28 at Hy-Vee and get the 28-cent fuel savers.
Yeah, and gas is kind of going down, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like $2.72 right now,
Depending
I think I saw.
on what side of the state line you're on.
Yeah, it's
right?
like $2.82 in Missouri.
Yeah, very, very high over in Missouri. Thursday, I'll be out at Hy-Vee at 119th Street in Olathe for steak dinner Thursdays. $10 steak dinner on Thursday. Yeah, that's right. $10 steak dinner. Get your taters and your beans and your steak. $10.
Did it last week.
Yeah,
Great.
There you go. Brioche,
Plus
baby.
brioche.
Right? Yeah.
Fantastic.
Why do you always get the hottest days?
Is Thursday supposed to
85.
be? Is it supposed
I
to
mean,
be
that's
hot?
not hot, but I mean, for
Yeah.
October, that's like a squatcha.
Yeah, what's going on? Like, it's 85 still, right? And here it is, like the 21st. I mean, my goodness, the top's still off the Bronco and everything. Like, it's beautiful out. I'm not going to complain, but yeah, you're right.
I am. I want chili and crock pot meals and hoodies and sweats.
Well, you could do all that.
Not when it's 85.
Not when it's 85.
No.
No. But you're right. Yeah, the last time I was at Hy-Vee, well, 2 times ago, it was very, very hot out there. But you want to get in because the savings are cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a conversation real quick because I thought I wrote down, talking to Briscoe, what I thought were the big stories of the Chiefs game. Maybe I'm missing one. If I do, because I want to talk about Tom Brady.
Okay.
But the storylines I saw in the Chiefs defense, topic.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes runs were topics.
Yeah.
His 2 interceptions merited a topic.
Sure.
Kareem Hunt was great.
Yeah.
Noah Gray, surprisingly the guy this week. Last week it was Juju.
Mm-hmm.
No Harrison Butker, really. Didn't really know if he was on the field or not.
No, that's fine. I don't need to
Didn't
see
have to
field
kick
goals.
any, didn't have any stalled drives.
Right.
Got in the red zone.
Got in the red
so
zone, scored.
Not
Got
seeing
3
him
of
as a
3 in the red
plus.
zone. Yeah, I'll take that.
Lost an defensive back.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster got hurt.
Yeah.
Anything I missed?
Not really. No. I mean, that was kind of the
Those are the nuts and bolts?
Yeah, those are the nuts and bolts of the game.
Tom Brady's part of that topic, right?
And Tom Brady's in there, yeah, because it was the first game that he did, with the Chiefs. Nothing stood out really for me with Tom Brady. I wasn't sitting there going, wow, this guy's giving me some great insight. I did cherry pick 2 quotes that I thought were really good from Tom Brady, but overall, I thought he was just a guy. I didn't think he was anything, special, and I wasn't going in with like a, oh my God, Tom Brady sucks attitude, but he didn't know Mecole Hardman's name.
Hardiman?
Hardiman, he kept calling
And
him.
Spags was tough.
And he said Spags at least 4 different times.
Just go with Spags.
Just go with Spags.
Coach Spags.
Yeah, just go with Spags.
I
But
learned
other than
that.
he was all right. Didn't get in the way of the game, which is a good thing.
He was
know?
appreciative of the moment, which
Yeah.
is Kansas City Chiefs going for an historic time. I thought him and Patrick Mahomes' pregame interview was amazing.
Loved it.
I didn't see that part.
Oh, that's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, however long it was. It's great.
Was it on the pregame show? Yeah, I don't do pregame shows. I sit down at noon. Let's go, Scott Hansen. I have the clock running with like 13 minutes to go on Red Zone.
So I went over to my stepdad's house because he was helping me with the battery situation.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, you have Red Zone? He goes, I don't know what that is because he just likes to watch the game.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, wait till 2:30. and he was like, after watching the Red Zone witching hour, he goes, "How do you do this every week?" And I was like, "A lot of Miller Lite."
And how do you do it?
Because it's just so much.
Gotcha.
For someone who's never, like, I got to experience Red Zone with someone who's never experienced Red Zone. Because he's just a simple guy. He wants to watch the Chiefs at 325. He'll watch a TV movie during the day. He's not just going to eat. He's got his teams.
He's got his, that's fine, which is most people.
And I put that on during that witching hour where Houston, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, and then we get to the topic. And even he brings it up. Because my mom, God rest her soul, was not a huge Tom Brady fan. Probably would not have been able to watch the game with the TV volume on if they were playing.
That's funny, though, with the Red Zone and your dad yesterday, because my wife, for the last 2 years when we started watching Red Zone, she complains every week, just put a game on, just put a game on, just put a game on.
No.
So she was cleaning out the closet finally yesterday, and I'm listening to what she has on in the bedroom while I'm, kind of doing some things going, up and down, back and forth, whatever the case may be. And all I can hear is Scott Hansen's voice. I'm like, I see now.
Yeah.
You matriculated over to the Red Zone.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't hear a whole lot. Like, there were some family conversations going on when I was watching it, but I heard enough. And it's more than I've heard in the past where it's just be watching a Red Zone game and it would go to Tom Brady. He didn't really say much that was like, what is he doing? I was keeping my ear and eye to Twitter to see, like, if anybody was mad about him. And it seemed like after I had talked to people and my buddy and some other people, they were like, and even my stepdad sent me a text. He goes, Tom Brady wasn't too bad. And I was like, somebody who's already biased towards not liking him that can come out and be like, you know what? He didn't piss me off. It wasn't a Joe Buck. It wasn't a Bob Costas. Like, there was none of that on the text line, or on the Twitter world. And, listening to it and being like, you know what Mahomes and Andy Reid are doing, this is why they're great. Here's Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does, dissecting plays. I thought Brady got a pass this week. I didn't think he was, and maybe we might have been a little too harsh on what to expect because he is new to this. This was his 7th game in the NFL, and he had to call what was his childhood team, I think the Niners, and then obviously like what is going to be the next staple in the NFL. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought Tom Brady, again, didn't get in the way of the game. A lot of times, like you mentioned Bob Costas, he got in the way of the ALDS. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that. He got in the way. When you're broadcasting a game, you should really take a back seat to the game. That's why I think Joe Buck is really good. He doesn't talk. He lets the plays do their thing out there on the field. And I thought Tom Brady was just fine yesterday. It was like watching, an okay broadcast. It was nothing. He didn't do anything that's going to jump out at you. It wasn't like Romo where you're like, oh, my God, the guy's calling out plays. But he had 2 comments that I really thought were important in the game yesterday. And one, he said, when you win, that's the job of the quarterback, regardless of the variables. And that's kind of what I've been saying along with Patrick Mahomes. His stats yesterday were not good at all, right? And I don't think anybody's arguing that this has been a good year for Patrick Mahomes. More interceptions than touchdowns, right? If we're not mistaken, right? So his numbers haven't been great, but yet he's 6-0. And that's ultimately what you're judged on as a quarterback, right? Unless you're in the fantasy world and it matters for your game, I judge quarterbacks based on did they do enough to lead their team to a victory, and they figured it out yesterday. And then he said about Andy Reid, he said, quote, Reid can succeed with whoever's out there. And he's not wrong about that at all. Look at what Andy Reid has done just in these 2 weeks alone with the way that they have achieved success with Rashee Rice going down and Isaiah Pacheco going down and Hollywood Brown never being a part. Noah Gray yesterday is the guy who came to play, and I have it written down in my notes right after the first half or first quarter ended. It was like the Noah Gray show, 11 yards this way, 20 yards that way. All of a sudden, Noah Gray's now involved in the offense. And Tom Brady is dead on with that when he says Andy Reid can succeed with whoever is out there. There's not any other coach in the NFL, maybe in NFL history, that could succeed with whatever 11 guys you give him on offense and whatever 11 guys you give him on defense.
Do you remember when he said that in the game? Because I remember that exact quote. I remember when it was.
The Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes quote was...
Andy Reid can succeed with anyone else out there.
That one there. I've got that written down with about 9.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Right after
they went ahead,
Sky
14-12.
Moore drops his pass on 2nd and long. And so I'm watching that, and I'm like, which I completely agree with what you're saying, and it is right, but I just facetiously and kind of funny was like, yeah, except for Sky Moore.
Well,
he can succeed with everyone except for a wide-open receiver who can't catch pass. But
yeah.
I did think that was funny timing. But
the timing may have been, humorous, but it doesn't get lost in what he means, and he's right. Like, other coaches can't. They just can't. They're so reliant on their players the players are relying on Andy Reid. And if anything, like people go, what's the worst case scenario? I'm like, I don't know. Andy Reid's not on the sidelines. Like they rely more on Andy Reid to put them in that position to be successful than he relies on these players to go out there and make the plays. Andy Reid is such a major component, really the major component as to why this organization has success.
Somebody said I did miss a point in the game yesterday. The worst, or they said the greatest onside kick of all time.
Oh, my God.
I remember watching that, sitting next to my dad and my sister, and I just said, that's probably the worst attempt at an onside kick
Did he
you've
just
ever seen.
miss, or was he trying
So
to,
he had the football on the ground, laying like horizontally
on the ground.
And what he wanted to do was kind of like brush the tip of the football with the inside of his foot to where it would just go 10 yards and circle. But he kind of whiffed.
Like he missed it, yeah.
And he hit it with his like heel, so it just went 4 yards.
Right.
It literally went 4 yards.
No, it went nowhere. Like it was a swing and a miss.
I
right?
was like, is this real? Like, am I watching the Replacements
kind of
movie?
impressive.
Like, I don't know. And that's what I was telling
That
you
was
guys.
like a bad
I don't
golfer.
think you could honestly try it if you wanted to kick a 4-yard kick. I mean, it'd be so impossible. Like to have the touch to go 4 yards and spin. So, yeah, I guess I missed that one.
All right, so the guys at Manning Roofing had a folding chair and a rugby ball out on the golf course the other day. And it was like, can you kick the rugby ball into the chair?
Okay.
And it was like from me to you, it wasn't a far distance at all.
Like 5 yards?
Yeah, 5-10 yards max.
Mm-hmm.
He said we had Colquitt out here, doing it and before. Nobody can ever kick that rugby ball into the chair. No, Colquitt was missing every time and was getting mad.
Wow.
Back in the day, right? Like, so he's like, yeah, Colquitt was out here one time doing this and was getting mad. He couldn't do it.
Did you win the chair if you nailed it or something? Or was it something like that?
No, it was you're just playing around and having fun. You got the autograph of the ball, basically, and sign it. And they gave it to the BMA Foundation as a nice little token of the people. So I think 4 people all day were able to manage to somehow get it into the chair. But it's all luck, man. Like kicking is so difficult. And so I watched that guy whiff yesterday. I'm like, damn, he's probably practiced that thing thousands of times. And the first moment and only moment, really, you're going to get to do it, you whiffed.
Somebody says if that onside kick was a noise, it would have been Max Belch.
Yep.
To quote Steve Stewart, it was a Stee-Reich. Stee-Reich won. Hey, man, that guy's nice. He came up to me and said, congratulations on the promotion during the during the postseason. I was like,
Steve Stewart's one of the nicest human beings
Dude,
you'll
literally,
ever meet. Yeah.
Literally pulled me to the side, was like, hey, I just want to talk to you for a second. I was like, oh, my God, Steve, how you doing? Never had a conversation with you before. He's like, how you liking mornings? I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, congratulations. I appreciate that. Something else I can appreciate is noon football because, boy, was that Vikings-Detroit game awesome.
That was fun. That was a fun game yesterday.
NFC North,
yeah.
man. Like, and Green Bay, I didn't know this. C.J. Stroud had 86 passing yards yesterday.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
86.
And that's, oh, my God.
86.
Wow.
Yeah, and they almost won.
Wow.
That's why I was like, earlier today when we were talking about, like, our overreaction Mondays, like, maybe Houston, we need to, pump a little bit. I know they're 5-2. I know they're going to come December 16th to Arrowhead and have a fight. But 86 passing yards.
Wow, that's crazy. And they were in the game.
Yeah. I mean, Green Bay drove down McManus, who they just picked up off the streets.
Yeah.
And those crispy white jerseys pierced that thing, got iced, pierced it again.
Mahomes only had 154 yesterday.
But it's not 86.
I know, but still,
double.
I mean,
Kareem
only
Hunt almost had
212
more
for
rushing
Purdy,
yards.
78 Curry.
He almost had more rushing yards than Stroud had throwing. And Stroud's got offensive weapons. I know Nico's out, but I mean,
the Chiefs had 100 yards more rushing than Stroud did passing.
Insane.
That's wild. I had no idea. That's a crazy number. Holy
but, man,
crap.
I am finding myself more and more like, you know how you have your team that you watch, but then you have like your outer banks of like what also intrigues you. The NFC North is football porn 101.
It really is. The great uniforms.
I mean,
and
everything about it.
It's fantastic.
Who's your favorite team in the division?
It's the Lions right now. Today it is. I think the Lions are the best team in the NFC right now. And I don't know if that's my overreaction or if that's just the way it is.
I said it last week on Max Pack.
You know, I think they are by far the best team in the NFC right now.
I think they're the second best team in the NFL.
Yes. I think you can make that case behind the Chiefs right now. I mean, nobody else is taking the crown of being
beat the
second
undefeated
best team.
Vikings.
Right, they beat the undefeated Vikings, and look,
without their best player.
It wasn't because Sam Darnold didn't. Goff played yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the thing, man. I'm getting more and more people on the golf train now, man.
Golf? You want to go play golf? Oh,
golf.
I was like, come on, Bob, I'll take you out.
No,
Dusty got excited.
I'll fix that swing real quick.
Yeah, no. I mean, there are more golfers out there now than ever before. All of a sudden, people feel, because I gave them that outlet last week.
It was all you.
Feeling comfortable about saying they like golf. And it's okay to be a golfer, man. Like, just because.
That's what I said. You can golf all you want.
Golfer. No, golfer.
Sorry,
Gopher.
sir, when I kill all these golfers,
Okay.
who's going to come out here and play golf? Golfers, you idiot, not golfers.
Do you get that, Mac, or are you just laughing?
I don't think I get that. I don't think so.
You know what? You're a great teammate because the
I
way
got
you
you,
laugh,
man.
you sold me.
I got you, man.
But I had to
Caddyshack.
ask. Yeah, I had to ask if he got that
Captain
reference.
Jack. Okay.
Captain Jack?
Well, no, sorry. I was looking up something else. So what did you say?
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Thanks for listening, Mike.
Mac, did you get? Yeah, way to go. Eric Berry, Player of the Week, huh? What? Oh, did you see this? Eric Berry got Player of the Week. So did you get that, Mac? No, I don't think I got that, no.
Bill Murray, Caddyshack, opening scene. Well, not the opening scene, but one of them.
I said there's a lot of golfers out there now. My friend who's a Lion fan texted me about golf yesterday. A couple of people on Twitter like, you're right about golf. Like, all of a sudden now people are like, all right, I can admit that. Like, you never want to admit that Jared Goff is good because it's the name Jared Goff. Like, does that scream, ooh?
It's hard
No.
to beat Goff.
It is. And Goff is out there right now,
Mm-hmm.
dominating right now. So if you are a golfer, get on my side with this and admit you like Goff.
I really don't know if he's saying golf or golf.
Goff, Goff. I've given the golfers of the world the opportunity to say, yes, I like Jared Goff, and it's okay.
From Ian Rappaport just now, Chiefs cornerback Jalen Watson suffered a fractured ankle, so he'll have more imaging done today to determine if a return this season is possible.
God,
What did
why
you
do they-
say?
Fractured ankle. God. How do they keep breaking their like ankles? Like everything gets broken.
Not enough stretches, probably.
God, Pacheco was what, the fibula or it was a leg, right? Like lower tibia or ankle for Watson.
Oof. This football's a
Collarbone,
rough game.
collarbone for Brown.
Here, let me just say this.
MCL, I think, for Rice.
Do not complain ever again when there's a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer, because I don't want to see quarterbacks out.
Well, we
I
almost
just
saw our
don't.
quarterback get choke
I
slammed.
know. How do we not get a penalty for that? That guy throat punched Mahomes.
I mean, at first I was like, Mahomes flopped. Then they showed it in slow motion. I'm like, nah, it was in there.
That was Jalen Watson to Tyreek Hill in the playoff game. Or not Jalen Watson. It was L'Jarius Sneed to Tyreek Hill in the playoff game. Throat punching him. But I'm glad they protect the quarterbacks, man, because you're watching other guys fall. You don't want to see these quarterbacks get hurt. The good ones, anyway. What'd you just say? What?
Should be Jared Goff. So you don't want to get it misconfused with golf.
Yeah, switch the G and
Joff.
the J.
Joffrey. One of the worst people ever to roam the earth in Game of Thrones.
Joffrey. G-O-F. Joffrey. If you spell it like that, you have to be a butler, right?
Or you have to be a mad king. Yep, exactly. By the way, did you see the Breaking Bad recycling commercial this weekend for New Mexico? They're trying to pump like recycling, and it just shows Walter White wheeling out a trash barrel like he used to keep his money in the desert. Puts it up and looks around. There's a bunch of trash. He's like, "Clean it up," and like starts throwing trash away.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
I'll send it to you. It's fun. It's awesome. But anyways, no. The NFC North is amazing. Every week, like this is why I think I will always have Red Zone. Because I mean, man, like, I would hate to be stuck with whatever a 3:00 game might be, where it's like, oh yeah, you get Seattle and
Seattle and the Rams,
and I'm just like,
Is there anything more depressing than coming up? Seattle takes on the Los Angeles. Oh God!
Well, I mean, the 3:00 game for some people might have been Rams and Raiders, and that game was 15-20.
Well, we were the only game on Fox yesterday.
Yes, across the entire nation,
right?
Yeah.
So there was no competition on Fox. I'd like to see the numbers. Chiefs and 49ers versus what other two turd bird shows they put on yesterday.
I think the Chiefs are probably getting they probably have the top 6 ratings in football this year.
We already know who was watching these other games on CBS yesterday.
Nobody was. Like, I mean, the Chiefs are what, 6-0? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is my math right? And they probably have every single game they played has probably been the highest viewed game of the season
of that
in
weekend.
football.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that week, because I mean, it was already Cincinnati and Chiefs, Baltimore and Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Monday Night Football game with Atlanta was huge.
It was a huge number.
Or was that Sunday night? Was that Monday night?
That was a Sunday night game. The Monday night against New Orleans had a big
another
number.
big one.
Yep.
The Chargers one drew a ton.
Their bye week drew more than the Cowboys.
Do you think this is because of the Chiefs or because of when their games are?
No, it's because of the Chiefs. It's 100% because of the Chiefs.
Yeah, because they get to pick and choose when their games were.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what window they play in.
With
They're
like the
number one.
networks, it used to be like, they have to be 325 because it's a Fox game this week or whatever. Now they can just be like, we get this game, we get that game, and then the timing is immaculate. Like, I've never understood. Like,
but they do the timing on purpose, right?
Yeah,
because
I mean, like,
that's what I'm
they want
saying.
the Chiefs in the more primetime windows,
well, that's
obviously.
What I'm saying.
But
no, timing helps.
I don't think it has anything, quite honestly, to do with the timing. It's because they are the most polarizing team in the NFL.
It's also
right now,
Mahomes, Kelsey, the possibility of Swift, Andy Reid,
Reid, three-peat. People are now rooting for them to lose. There's a lot. The more they win, the more people will be watching this because now we're the only undefeated team left. What did I tell you at the beginning of the year? Not only are they going for a three-peat, they're going for an undefeated run. They're the last undefeated team right now. So now everybody's going to be paying attention even more, hoping at some point the Chiefs lose a football game.
I want you to hold on to that topic because we bring up receiver and corner edition. So hold on to that, and I want to bring up a question for you on the other side. Mac, Dusty, Bob here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
When Google Fiber first launched 1 gig internet right here in Kansas City, it cost $70. Cut to today. Over 10 years later, 1 gig internet still costs the same, $70. That's what you get with Google Fiber. Fast, reliable internet with simple, straightforward monthly billing. No data caps, no annual contracts, no hidden fees. Just a small local fee for the city on top of your flat, predictable price. Go beyond good enough. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at fiber.google.com.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty. I want to pay off my teas because Bob had mentioned earlier about, the three-peat and the importance of what they want to do with it. My question to you is, that means they definitely go make a move.
Oh, I definitely is hard to say because there's reliance on another team to do something. But yeah, they want to make a move at wide receiver. I mean, there's times you're looking around and it's like Sky Moore, Justin Watson, and McCole Hardman are your starting wide receivers. Yes! You're like, okay, we've got to make an upgrade here. But again, as we've talked about, for the last 2 weeks, who's that team that's going to be willing to, A, admit they suck and they're out of it, which I think we're going to have some more teams this week, potentially. Like Giants, time to put your big boy pants on and admit this thing's done. Jets, time to be a big boy, put your big boy pants on, admit that this season's over. Cleveland, you started to admit it with Amari Cooper and some others now. You got the opportunity to maybe, move on from Carolina, Tennessee. So I think this week we'll have more of I shouldn't say more of, because that's not proper English, but we're going to have a clearer picture, I think, of who may be available because we're 15 days away from the trade deadline. It's time for some of these teams to put their big boy pants on and realize, all right, we suck. It's time to focus on 2025. And as we're getting closer to Halloween and the holidays, if you're a bad football team, your fans are checking out anyway. They're carving pumpkins, they're stuffing turkeys, and they're hiding things under their sock. So you've got these things that are going to start taking place that's going to take their attention away from,
what
the
are they
football
hiding
team.
under their sock?
Well, gifts and things,
Have you ever heard of that? By the way, have you ever heard the term plate up?
Plate up or plate up?
Plate up. Plate, like plate up.
Plate up.
Never heard that before.
What is that?
Went over to eat dinner, and the lady goes, plate up. And I was like, I'm sorry? She's like, plate up. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, yeah, to grab a plate and get your dinner ready. Like, put your dinner on the plate. And I was like, oh, I've never heard that before.
I don't know.
And I was like so lost for like 5 minutes. I've never heard that before.
Like Furs?
No, like at a house.
You were just at a house.
Oh, okay, because that's sounds something like you're in the cafeteria line. They're slopping over the yellow, the blue, and the green, and
Don't be cheap on me. All right. Well, speaking of plate up.
Never heard was she serving you, and she wanted you to have your plate up so she could put the food on your plate?
Nah, she was just like, "It's ready, plate up."
Like, go get your food.
Oh,
plate up.
Like dinner's ready.
Yeah, I never heard that one.
I've never heard that.
No,
I guess I'm not. I don't know.
People hide oranges and things in their sock. Look at back in the day, you used to have those wooden shoes, and people would stuff them with, back in Josh's day when he was a kid growing up, they would fill his shoes with oranges for,
He's not here to defend himself.
He's probably sleeping.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the brioche of the weekend.
Brioche of the weekend.
Big brioche guy.
Love that. Yeah, good take.
From the 620, I have never heard played up, but I like it. Yeah. I mean, I'll use it. Like,
Yeah.
hey, played up.
Play up.
So then I can have see the reaction someone else had.
Played up.
My brioche of the weekend is, I think I wrote this. It was early in the morning. The Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
From head to toe, no pun intended, those jerseys were great. Fantastic.
Yeah, my friends were dogging those. I was like, you guys are
Mine
ridiculous.
too.
Really?
My friend John's a huge Lions fan. He texted me, can we all agree that these Lions uniforms suck?
No,
or
we
not
cannot,
Lions
is
uniforms,
what
I
he-
mean Packers.
Yeah.
And I said, I disagree. And he comes back and he goes, well, we can all agree that the Lions black uniforms are probably the best. I'm like,
Yes.
well, yeah, right. Yeah. I just liked the
were
crispy, icy
They were
look.
great, man.
Chiefs, let's go. All white, throw on a white lid.
Please.
Why not?
Brioche of the weekend for me for many reasons. The jerseys were great. Jordan Love is getting to be himself. I know he threw 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns. He is arguing to be the MVP of the league in the NFC North, which is a tough division. He is very valuable to his team. He has done exactly what we thought he was going to do. Mac was on top of that at the beginning of the season as a preseason MVP shout-out. They had a new kicker come in, hit a field goal. The timeout got called. They tried to ice him, hit it again. And not only that, they beat an AFC contender in the Houston Texans. So they help you out. A very brioche weekend for me when it comes to the Green Bay Packers.
For me, the brioche of the weekend, and you're probably going to look at me and go, wow, I didn't see this one coming. Saquon Barkley. I mean, what a hell of a performance against the Giants that he had going back
Did he
to
get
New
booed?
York.
I didn't see his red zone, obviously, so I don't know.
Nothing like,
Over the top?
Yeah, it wasn't
Few
like
people in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of Eagle
He'll
fans.
get booed now.
Yeah, right. But a lot of Eagles
It's
fans
true.
made the trip, so there were some cheers mixed in. Like you
Okay.
tried to hear it, you could hear the Eagles, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So nothing like that. But 176 yards and I don't know, 2 touchdowns or whatever he had on the day yesterday. He was fantastic. And you go back and you play your old team. Revenge is a dish best served cold. And Saquon Barkley served that thing up. They even took him out of the game late yesterday because they're like, all right, you've done enough here today. So Saquon Barkley gets my brioche of the weekend. He was fantastic for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Giants, which in turn gives the Giants another loss, and now they have to really look inside themselves and realize Darius Slayton needs to go to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my brioche was NFC North. We talked a lot about it, how great it was. I just think, if it weren't for the NFC North, man, how crappy would the NFL be? I mean, my God, it's the Chiefs and the NFC North and everyone else. You're like, these teams kind of suck.
Well, I mean, how many legit teams right now do you think can win the Super Bowl? I've got the Chiefs.
4.
I've got
Like
probably Baltimore out there right now as a team that could win the Super Bowl. I've got the Lions out there right now as a team that could potentially win the Super Bowl.
Green Bay?
Yeah, maybe. It's not 100% sold on Green
Minnesota?
Bay just yet. Minnesota, I'm still
Okay,
like,
so you're at 3.
Yeah, I'm harder than most people on this kind
I
of
know you are.
stuff, So, shut up, Dusty. So I'm going to go 3 at this point in time.
Wow, 3.
3 total teams. I think
You only think 4.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I don't
Who's your
think
fourth?
I don't think Chiefs, Lions, Green Bay. I don't trust Sam Darnold. I really
Yeah,
don't.
see, that's where I come to. Like, I'm not ready to.
That's why, yeah.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
So those 4,
So you do put Green Bay in. I'm not ready quite yet to put Green Bay in. I'm close, very close to putting Green Bay in that conversation. But I think it's like the Chiefs, it's Baltimore, and it's Detroit right now. What somebody else will win the Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just the way it goes. But those are the 3 that I think can truly win the Super Bowl right now.
I'd put in
San
Houston.
Francisco can't.
I'd put in Buffalo. I'd put in San Francisco. It's week 7. This team's going to get healthy, and they've done it too many times. I'm not counting them out yet. And, yeah, I think 7. I think that's my 7.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then other than that, I'd go Cliff Kingsbury was another brioche. 40 points with Marcus Mariota is pretty damn good. I know it's the Panthers, but 40 points in the NFL.
He's making a case to be a head coach again, and
He
like
is.
really fast, like really fast. Like like he does well with young quarterbacks. Man, people forget he was Patrick Mahomes' quarterback. At Texas Tech, and the first phone call that Andy Reid made was to Cliff Kingsbury after they drafted him. So this guy's got a good track record. People like him in the league. You're turning a rookie quarterback into a guy that's competing for an MVP type honor and Rookie of the Year. I mean, I think he's going to be on a lot of short lists next year for teams that are looking for a new head coach.
Did you happen to see how the Miami game ended yesterday? So they had to go for it on fourth down. They had a clock it on third.
Yeah.
And they had to get at least a first down, and the quarterback threw it out of bounds. On fourth and four.
Yeah.
And Tim Boyle
right
for the
bounds,
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Do you know Tyreek Hill is yet to get over the 300-yard mark for the entire length of the season? He has 294 yards receiving this year.
Number one player in the NFL, according to the players.
That's right.
We watched Justin Jefferson do this with, Sam's. I can't think of these quarterbacks' names now. Nick Mullins. Like, think of all the trash quarterbacks. We see Jamar Chase do this with whoever, Jake Locker last year. It's just like, and then Tyreek Hill, he's with all these trash quarterbacks, doesn't do anything.
That's right.
Yeah. Can we save Bob saying I'm harder than most people? And then he said, shut up, Dusty. I felt like his kid for a second. He's
well,
like, don't you dare.
I was looking over and I saw the look that Dusty was giving me. So, I just wanted to shut him up ahead of time.
Senator the 913 says the Giants owe the Chiefs for giving them Tony.
Say that again?
Somebody says the Giants owe the Chiefs for giving them Kadarius
that's
Tony.
Right. Yeah, even though Kadarius helped us win a Super Bowl, but you take Darius Slayton. Like, you got to start to look at the teams that they have conversations with before. The Bills, maybe they'll trade us, Amari Cooper.
No. So for news moving forward, Raider Week starts tomorrow as the Puppet Master becomes the revenge tour for them. Some news out of the Raiders camp. According to Adam Schefter, Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell is now expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
No.
Broken thumb, per sources. He's getting a second opinion today to confirm the initial diagnosis, but it will be Gardner Minshew.
Are we sure?
Positive.
Like, Tom's not going to come out of the ownership suite and play quarterback this weekend for the Raiders?
Nah, he's got a pretty good gig.
Yeah, he does.
Got a pretty solid gig there. I mean,
but you do own this team.
$330 million and
that would be nuts, though. Stone cold, glass shatters, Tom Brady.
What would you do if Tom Brady was the starting quarterback for the Raiders this weekend?
Crap my pants and be like in excitement. I'd be like, here we go.
Would it not be like the coolest thing in history of sports?
Awesome.
Like, seriously, in the history of sports, it would be the coolest thing ever. All of a sudden, Tom Brady's now the quarterback of the Raiders. Oh, my God.
I saw what Pittsburgh's defense did to Aaron Rodgers last night.
Yeah.
Pick him up like a rag doll and toss him around.
Is he still in the NFL?
Rodgers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm afraid if Tom Brady went to play in the NFL today and that Chiefs defense this year against him, I think he'd have the same sort of like, holy cow. Because what, Brady's been out 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's way past it.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy about the NFL. It's so far past
It's so far past, but it wouldn't stop Tom Brady from doing it. So are we going to see the big national shows with all the Syracuse Jet fans on there admit that their guy, Aaron Rodgers, the Messiah, sucks?
I don't know. I got to hurry. Alex Gold's like ready to kick the door down.
Oh, yeah, he really is.
Go do something nice for somebody. You never know. It could change their day, week, month, or year. It's simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay kind, stay safe. Coming up next, it's Cody and Gold on 96.5 The Fan. It's your home for Kansas City sports.